Have your sports curiosity cured.
Now Quick will settle it down for Robertson. Minute 15 remaining in OT. Tied at 3 at the Garden. Here comes Matthew Robertson. Robertson to the net. He scores! What a play by Matthew Robertson! Now the Rangers win it in overtime. 4-3.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Saw Kelsey Calvert earlier today. She's the best that hits. Here we go. Looking for that angle raise. A double. The maybe get free. Got this. Run it back. Bang. Got it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you do. What a shot.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Seneca looks around. The pass outside the line. Here's from the Oilers again. That's it.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 592. Tuesday, January the 27th. And if you're the Edmonton Oilers, the defense never rests. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial on your morning drive into work or wherever you're heading out on a Tuesday morning. So glad you can make some time and join us on a Tuesday morning where, again, weather in the city of champions as the week progresses is going to just get unbelievable. Really, really nice temps for the end of January as we turn into February. Hey, you can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. We would appreciate it if you drop us a like and a subscription. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitch. As always, the streaming services are humming along with iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into the many, many podcasts that are out there. Check them out where you find them at Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. Yeah, so big win for the Oilers last night, 7-4 over the Anaheim Ducks. That snaps the Ducks' 7-game win streak. Oilers have now won 2 in a row. Can they make it 3 in a row on Thursday against San Jose? So, wow, the defense just lighting it up on the score sheet yesterday. That's back-to-back hat tricks when it comes to defensemen scoring for the Oilers. Matthias Ekholm last night, 3 goals. First time he scored 3 in his NHL career. Congrats to Matthias Ekholm, whose game has really come a long way since the start of the season, and that goes back to everything that he underwent last year with the core and everything else. And, you know, came back early in the playoffs and wasn't ready, but wanted to gut it out and be there for his team. But he is really, really playing exceptionally well right now. And, of course, that comes off the heels of Evan Bouchard's hat trick on Saturday night against Washington. So the Oilers put up 6 against Washington, 7 against Anaheim. But they've given up 15 goals as well in the last 3 games. So defense kind of optional here in the last little while. The Oilers will have a day off today, and they'll try to maybe regroup and tighten things up defensively because, hey, it's great to score 6-7 goals, but when you get to the thick of the battle in the playoffs, everyone knows that those are few and far between, and you got to win the close games, and you got to tighten up defensively. The 4 goals by D-men in that span of 3 minutes and 49 seconds in the second period, that too is an NHL record. So back-to-back tricks, never been done before, but defensemen, the 4 goals by D-men in that 3-minute, 49-second span is an NHL record as well. It's the first time that there's 4 goals in a period by defensemen in like 25 years. The Oilers also did it back in the 80s as well. But 3 by Ekholm, and then Darnell Nurse gets 1, and also Spencer Stastny gets 1. But let's be honest here. You know what? If you really look at this game and analyze it, especially in the third period, Oilers had that good little 4-minute run, but in the third period, the Anaheim Ducks could have easily won this game. They pressed the Oilers in the third, and the Oilers stopped playing. The Ducks could have won this game. But, you know, Tristan Jarry was exceptional in the third period. And the Oilers, get the empty netter by Connor McDavid, and then they get one more from Matthias Ekholm. But don't fool yourself. You can bet and rest assured that the coaching staff for the Oilers not exactly happy how that third period went down. When you looked at the center matchup at this one, I mean, you look at all the injuries that Anaheim with players out of the lineup. We talked about it yesterday, with to an extent with Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune in Anaheim. And, that you got Mason McTavish out. You got Leo Carlson out. And you got Troy Terry out. Those are three of the best players that the Ducks have offensively. And they missed them last night. They've missed them for a while. And they've been impressive that they've run off 7 in a row, or they had run off 7 in a row without those guys for the most part. Ducks had 3 power play goals, all by Michael Granlund. And this guy, he was picking corners left and right. Got a little lucky on the last one. It goes off the boot of Darnell Nurse. But, 3 goals is 3 goals. The hat tricks that have been going on right now in January, 27 hat tricks. That ties an NHL record for the month of January. And here we got, a couple more days left to go. That second goal in the building, it was that the Oilers scored. The second goal by Spencer Stastny. Then the Ducks called that timeout. It seemed like there was so much confusion in the stands in the press box where people didn't know what the heck was going on. It ended up to be a timeout for Anaheim. And what they wanted to look at, they wanted the league to look at, and I think the league tried to look at it, was the puck off a netting well before that the goal was scored. So there was no definitive angle. There was no replay that showed the fact that the puck had hit the netting. But you could see on the bench that Joel Quenneville was pretty upset. He thought for sure that was going to be the call that was coming. And, it's a reviewable call. So I'm pretty sure that when he ended up with the timeout and sort of delaying and waiting, he felt that a call was going to be going their way, but it didn't happen. So that's what that delay was and how long it felt in the building, because everyone's going, what's going on? A timeout and this and that. So, hey, you got to give credit too as well to Josh Szymanski. So playing his first NHL game, man, what a salad. He's got the Ogie Oglethorpe going, man. Comes out for a warm-up, the blonde locks. He's not exactly, you got a crew cut, man. This guy's got some hair on him. No helmet, comes out, has the warm-up. It's great. Played 7 minutes, 43 seconds, and honestly, should have had a goal. Should have had his first NHL goal. That's a wide open net set up by Jack Roslovic. Wide open net, and he just can't elevate it enough, and it goes right on the tape of Jackson Lacombe. But he was just under 8 minutes. He was +2. He was 3-1 in draws. Looked fairly comfortable, to be honest with you. So a good debut for an Oilers rookie, and that's going to the Olympics to play for Germany. I'm not sure how much action he's going to see, but hey, just to get to the Olympics, that's a hell of an accomplishment. 7:09 in Edmonton. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne, who was at the game, as was Josh Fenwick. Everybody's at the game except for Mackenzie, the intern in the room. Didn't have a ticket, apparently. I don't know what's going on. You guys get tickets. She doesn't get a ticket. But Duke goes with Chucky Slick, and I can't express my disappointment, Duke, that we had the over-under for you at least 2 beers, and you only had 1. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a work day, Kevin. This isn't Josh Fenwick on a Friday night chasing things down and getting after it. I can't imagine how many he tilted back at the game last night. But no, it was good. Slicky said when he was waiting for me to arrive, he even saw you walk in. He was hoping that I was going to be in short tow, and then you were going to set us up with all your big fancy friends and get us in someone's suite or something like that. But not to be. That's fine. Our seats were excellent, right up close and personal. Saw lots of goals, as predicted, back and forth, as predicted. And, it's a game on paper, the Oilers absolutely should have won with all the circumstances, and they do. It wasn't pretty when you factor in how many chances they gave up and obviously the goal total, but really entertaining hockey game, essentially start to finish.
BC Oiler texts in at 833-401-1440. He's out on BC listening. How long will it take Kevin to mention that Duke nailed the goal total on that game? Was even higher than what you said.
Oh, I just figured the over for sure, but because what we were talking, we said 5-4, 6-5, so we're talking 9 to 11 goals. We had 11 goals.
Very
good.
impressive.
Very good.
Impressive. Radio free agent listener says Quenneville said he didn't call a timeout. That's why he was mad. You could see him seeing that on TV. Okay, so this is way different. I'm at the game. You're at the game. So you were obviously confused as well, I'm sure.
I as soon as they called the timeout, or at least what appeared to be a timeout, it was because I'd seen on the original dump in, like Husso had put his stick up and they thought it was out of play. Play continues, they score. So as soon as the timeout gets called, I figure, all right, they're taking a little extra time to see if they want to challenge this or if there's a review process that's applicable. So nothing came of it. But if that is the case, then, we said lip reading or maybe the broadcast. I didn't see any Quenneville post-game comments. I got home and pretty much went straight to bed, to be honest. If he clarified that, then so be it. But yeah, no, I noticed that it was clearly about the puck going out of play.
It just took many
took several minutes to figure out what the heck was going on. And then even when they're lined up at the face-off, they just still circle back again to the bench.
Yeah. Rowdy texts in, and Rowdy, come pick up your bottle of booze. You got not long, buddy, until Josh and Duke and I crack her open on a Friday morning here. Morning, boys. Oil D showing a little snippet of what we got. They're healthy. Defensively, it'll come. Your thoughts? Well, again, giving up 15 goals here. That's what they've given up in the last 3 games. That's not that's not the game plan here. That's not what they want to be. That's not the team that they want to be. They've outscored some of their problems here defensively in the last 2 games for sure. And I think things will tighten up. I get where you're saying it will tighten up and come. I mean, there were some goals that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, when you think about it, 2 goals that were scored on the power play, the Oilers had opportunities to clear the zone. One was by Evan Bouchard on the first goal, and then one was on Darnell Nurse on the 4th goal. And they were nonchalant clears. Now, pucks in your net several seconds later on one of them and a little tighter on the other. But those are just a couple of examples. So, in the 2-1 goal by Killorn, there's 3 guys behind the net. But Colson comes behind the net and, Evan Bouchard's wondering, okay, what's he going to do with the puck? And now it's caught behind and Ekholm's back there. And then bang, it's out to Killorn by Paling within a matter of a split second. And it's in the back of the net. So, yes, there are tons of things to clean up. Hey, we got to bring in Josh Fenwick, too, here. So you're at the game, too. We got 3 guys in studio here that were at the game. I'm betting your over-under on beers at the game was higher than the Duke.
Yeah, I would have hit the over. I had 5. One at the beginning of the game and going into the first period, and then I got another one, and then in the second intermission, and then when the timeout thing happened, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Stoppage of play. I'm gonna go get another beer and go to the bathroom." And then I had one in the third, and only one spilled beer, not by me, by the friend I was with. She gets up to go to the bathroom, puts the beer too far under her chair, and knocks it over. But yeah, there was 4 people who work at 1440 at the game last night when you include Gregor.
Yeah, the whole station.
Was the whole, more than half,
except for Mac the intern, just slacking.
Maybe next time.
Oh, she was there last week. She says, "Yeah, she was there last week." Yeah, Sports 1440, the whole crew taking in the games at Rogers Place. Text 833-401-1440. Jay in Victoria says, "What a barn burner! Ducks are an exciting team to watch." Yeah, congrats to the big Viking, Matthias Ekholm. 3 goals. Jari was not that good until the third when he made a lot of key saves, he says. I don't know, he made some saves all night, I thought. And the Oilers were loose. It was not a tight checking game, not tight coverage defensively. Thought the rookie Szymanski seemed to play well. Jane Victoria says he should have buried one. Yeah, that was the setup. And man, he had the whole yawning cage and just couldn't elevate the puck. So we'll get to your text 833-401-1440. I don't even know. Radio free agent. This guy, he and I just don't see eye to eye. Maybe we'll get to some of his later. I don't know. Coming up on the big program, we'll have Michael Menzies from Oilers Nation. I believe his Sports 1440 debut also does play-by-play for the Bonnyville Pontiacs. So Michael will join us coming up right after the break. We got Mark Spector in his usual time spot at 8 o'clock from Rogers Sportsnet. Double barrel shotguns for our hockey insiders. Frank Saravalli from Frankly Hockey Victory Plus TV will check in at 8:20. Then we got our mindset coach and Olympic gold medalist Lori Ann Munzer. Man, the juice has got to be flowing with for Lori Ann here with the Olympics just right around the corner. It's always, no matter years can pass, but it's always something big if you get to the top of the hill like Lori Ann did back in 2004 for sure. We'll talk some hoops with Paul Sir from Hoop City. Joshy boy, get your question and your re-ask and your follow-up ready to go. And then John Cullen from Broom Brothers podcast, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Morning draw is underway in Mississauga. There was a big game last night where Caitlin Laws beat Carrie Anerson. So we'll talk to John about that. And then we got Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show, our usual 10-20 hit on Tuesdays. When we come back, we'll check in with Michael Menzies from Oilers Nation. It's Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick. Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Ugh, seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
New year, new me, right?
How about a resolution you'll actually enjoy?
This January, resolve to get a better ride at Nisku Ford. It's the New Year, New Ride event. Leave last year's vehicle in the rearview mirror and start 2026 in a brand new Ford. Get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%. Now that's a resolution you can stick to. Visit Nisku Ford today or browse our new inventory at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, when we say we are on the road together, we mean it. From tires, wheels, and oil changes to vehicle repairs, visit fountaintire.com to find out more. As we welcome in Michael Menzies from Oilers Nation. Morning, Michael. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. Much appreciated, and a great pleasure to be on the show. I'm not usually up at this time anymore. I used to do the morning shows in Bonnyville for a few years, so thanks for letting me know what 7:20 in the morning feels like.
Hey, and Matt, this is your maiden voyage on Sports 1440, so all the better, right?
That's right. It's good to get a hop on things, so thanks again.
Well, hey, just first a little bit about your background. You're still doing play-by-play, right, for the Pontiacs?
Yeah, so doing the road games this year because I'd moved to Edmonton a few months ago. So in the years past, it was home and away. It was all 62 or 54 or however many games Alberta Junior Hockey League was going to offer in a season. And so yeah, still doing play-by-play my 7th season with the Pontiacs, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, how much have you enjoyed that? I mean, the junior kids are great, and you know the atmosphere is solid, and the kids, they give it 100 per every night, don't they?
Well, it's, you get into this racket, you know what I mean? And everybody's got their niche, right? And what aspects you want to cover, what really grabs your attention, but what beats doing the games themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and, you look at how beloved Jack Michaels is in this market, and everyone on a Saturday night, they're loving the game. But then they're talking about, well, how about Jack in the final minute? Unbelievable. He's given his all. And so as a broadcaster, you look up to somebody like that and say, wow, they are enhancing someone's enjoyment of the game. And so what a treat. And so you get the ability to do games at the junior level. And, I've just really, you have some moments that are just unforgettable, and you're on the bus, and sometimes, I mean, you mentioned Ogie Oglethorpe earlier. Sometimes it does feel like Slapshot at times when you're on the bus and heading all over the province. So it really is a treat. And we've seen some, terrific players in recent seasons come out of the HHL, and Cale McCarr, Dylan Holloway, Jacob Bernard Docker, some others here, So it's really cool to see the talent that's come out of the AJ.
Yeah, no question. Michael Menzies from Oilers Nation, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Well, I went to the game last night. The Duke went to the game last night. Josh Fenwick went to the game last night. Did you watch this one on TV, or were you at the game last night?
Yeah, I noticed you guys all had, a staff meeting there in the hallways. No, I was doing pre and post game show for Oilers Nation last night, so I didn't have the privilege. I was like one of the millions of plebs, I guess, watching the game on TV. And it's interesting where this Oilers team is at. I think they're, in one way, it's quite a silly team this year. As soon as you think they're going to zig, this team zags. They get behind early in this game, kind of a lazy penalty. It's just kind of going at, another meandering pace of the first period. And then they explode in the second period with a fairly unexpected 4 consecutive goals from defensemen. We were talking Spencer Stastny had, 22 games without a point as an Oiler, and he gets a great ricochet, and that kind of sets the whole things off with Anaheim. So on the TV broadcast, it was we were wondering about this whole Quenneville yelling timeout scenario, because he was adamant that he did not call his timeout. But we did not get clarity as a TV viewer about what they were upset about. So confusion just abounded, I guess, whether you were in the building or not in the building.
Yeah, it was confusing in the building. I can tell you that. There were some people that were discussing, puck off the mesh, which again happened, before well before the goal that was scored by Stastny to make it 2-2. But you could see the frustration on Quenneville. But, inside the building, they're not showing him on the Jumbotron. They're barely showing him on the TVs that we have in the press box that was prime. So it was a little bit confusing, I think, from all accounts there. There was two things I want to talk to you about, Michael, that happened in the game. First, in the first period, Tristan Jarry lost his skate blade. And somehow he stayed with the puck and, it was a lunging save on Jacob Trouba, but that doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, in fact, the first time I've seen that for a goalie was just a couple weeks ago in a Pontiac game. And I said, I've never seen a goalie lose a skate blade before.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, here we go with Jarry. And I think collectively, Oiler fans were holding their breath at first when you just see him tumble backwards and you're like, what is happening here with Jarry? Is this actually going to be an injury? And then he makes the save with like his ear in the crease and we're like, oh my gosh. And then, okay, we see it's just a skate blade. So, all things considered, that is the best case scenario there. But, you got to think with how the Oilers have handled their goalies. I mean, they're keeping Calvin Pickard around for this, primary purpose of Jarry injury protection, but this is also his third straight game he's played, obviously Saturday in relief.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really, we haven't seen the injury rear its head. But
I think they got to get him in, into a bit of a groove here too. He's their number one guy for a reason, and you got to see, how he can handle a little bit more of the rope here. I think.
I totally agree. I don't think this Pickard situation benefits really anyone. To be honest,
I think it's okay.
Either Jarry's good enough to go, or he's not good enough to go. You know what I mean?
It doesn't hurt him here. Like. Again, we're only talking for another week, right? So, once the Olympic break and the freeze happens on the 4th, it's not that far away. So they can navigate this until the end of February when they get back to playing again. So they can figure it out then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not life or death for this team about where they're at. And obviously we saw some interesting lineups last week because of it with the 11-7 and, can they pull up a Ford? And, that's where it was a little bit frustrating was they didn't have that mobility at forward and you couldn't reward a guy like Josh Szymanski, who we get to see make his debut last night. And I think played, pretty well in that role and probably went to bed very excited, but also seeing that first NHL goal that he had on his stick, almost so close, but not able to cross the line. So, when, the Oilers have, it's been nice to see the amount of players that they feel comfortable calling up from Bakersfield. And I do think, if I'm going to be critical of a management decision, well, I've got to tip their cap and say, well, over the course of the last year, they've found a variety of players that are in their early 20s and taken shots on with Szymanski and, with Quinn Hudson. And, earlier this year, they even called up Clattenburg and, they found players who have been able to step into roles and play some games. And obviously Szymanski didn't play that many minutes last night, all things considered, 7 minutes, 43 seconds, but didn't look out of place. And he's the type of player, I bet, that Knobloch is going to trust more as time goes along to give more minutes, because if he plays the way he's been playing in the A, defensively responsible, I think Knobloch will give him more leash.
Michael Menzies with us on Sports 1440 from Oilers Nation. The other just a snippet and harbinger from the game that I wanted to discuss with you was the Connor McDavid penalty shot. So he seems to score almost at will. He's got 4 penalty shot goals. His strategy is way different as far as how he scores on breakaways, which seems to be so electric because he's going at full throttle. His penalty shots are a little different, and he swooped in from the side, was trying 5-hole. Ville Husso closed it up quick, but I don't know if Connor was really 100% after, he got taken into the boards there once by Lacombe, and then Trouba, kind of manhandles him in the call of the penalty shot. What did you see when 97 went in on the penalty shot?
Well, this is another moment in the game where I think Oiler fans were like, whoa, that, he came crashing into the end boards. And for a moment, you're wondering, because that's Trouba. Trouba's got a reputation about how he likes to play the game. And so, yeah, I don't think he was at his very best for that attempt. And I mean, Husso had a strange game, because up until that whole sequence we talked about earlier, the Stastny pinball shot and the non out of play, Husso was kind of dialed in, and then for a few moments was really not, So Husso still at that time, I think, was fairly, engaged and at the top of his game. And for McDavid, yeah, I'm not sure if that was, the ideal moment for him to take such a penalty shot in the game. But, you mentioned a couple tough hits he's taken. This is not unusual here when the Oilers have played teams that are, in the mix. When they want to play physical against the Oilers, they can. And largely, there's not a lot of pushback, So this is something that, I think via signing Frederick long-term that they wanted to cover. And, in the last couple of years, it had the likes of Corey Perry and Evander Kane. And, that's a question mark, I think, heading into the deadline that needs to be brought up in the war room is, are we comfortable with the forward group, the team overall, in terms of our hard to play against factor? Do we have enough, FU in our game type thing? So, and at times, I don't think it was a dirty play by Trouba or anything like that, but, this is just something that we've seen throughout the season, and the Oilers don't have that component most nights to their game.
Well, he went in way harder. McDavid went way in harder when Lacombe took him in, and he sort of went in backside first, and that stunned him. And that's the only reason that he was in position to have a breakaway when Trouba kind of bear hugged him, because he was late getting back to the play. So, but you could just see that he was maybe stunned a little bit, and took him a while to get his bearings straight for sure. Michael Menzies with us from Oilers Nation. What do you make of this Ducks team you saw last night? I mean, missing three key players in McTavish and Carlson and Terry, but they've got some guys here. I mean, Beckett Seneca is going to be a hell of a player. Already he is. Granlund gets a hat trick last night, and they got some guys on the back end. We mentioned Lacombe. I mean, that guy's just dynamite, JJ. But this is a team that is going to be a force to be reckoned with for many years to come here.
Yeah, well, the future is finally now for Anaheim, because it's been several years for them where they've been really in the mix of a playoff spot or anything like that. You look at what the lineups were heading into the game last night. This was the type of game where it was kind of a scheduled loss for the Ducks, all things considered. The Oilers have had the benefit of playing teams that are on a back-to-back that just played in Calgary before and are now consistently beating Calgary. But you look at who they're missing, the personnel. Leo Carlson, hasn't played for a week and a half, 2 weeks. Mason McTavish as well. Troy Terry wasn't in the lineup. Frank Vetrano is now a bit of a depth piece, So it wasn't the Ducks at full strength. They've been the streakiest team in the league this year, where they had a big win streak in October, November, had lost 9 in a row before winning 7 in a row, and now have lost 1 in a row. And I don't know if that'll trend into a streak of a similar length or what. So, I think they've done a good job in getting vets for cents on the dollar. We touch on Trouba. He was on the outs in the Rangers. Kreider has been very helpful for them. And they've just been able to furnish their lineup with some of these vets. So it isn't just, 23 and younger guys that are trying to lead the way. But how much does Jackson Lacombe just control the game?
Yeah, he did last night, didn't he? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, he's a heck of a player. I think Owen Zellweger, he didn't have his best night last night, but I think he's going to be, a depth piece there. And, and Dostal, he didn't play last night, but he's been their goalie of record and of consequence down the stretch. So I think the Ducks are leaving that game thinking, oh, we'll show the Oilers later this season when we have our guys, a better game. So I'm curious about that aspect. Edmonton can't care about that. They've got to bank wins. This is their stretch. I've labeled this stretch, this 9 games, the 8-game homestand, and the Calgary game is the dominance part of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time where they need to bank points because it will get, there will be a 3 and 4 SoCal trip right out of the Olympics and so on and so forth. The schedule giveth with this homestand like it taketh away with the long road trips earlier in the year. So, the Oilers can't be too worried about that. And we get to see another young team on the rise Thursday with the San Jose Sharks. So that ought to be entertaining.
Yeah, we'll see, some great young talent here. And then, Macklin Celebrini and others coming in on Thursday. Hey, Michael, thanks for being our leadoff man here on a Tuesday and your Sports 1440 debut. Really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, let me know. Much appreciated. It was a lot of fun, and give me a shout anytime.
You betcha. Hey, when's the next Pontiacs game?
We are in Drumheller Friday and Saturday down at the Drumheller Memorial Arena, the last AJHL rink that I know had an organ in the building. So it's always fun when you go down and play the Dragons.
Who would you say the best 1 or 2 or 3 Bonnyville Pontiacs of all time are that have gone on to the NHL? And we know some of the names, but maybe just give us a thought on that.
You got to go Mark Letestu.
Yep.
Oiler great of 2017, Mark Letestu, but he was a great junior and obviously from Elk Point, so about a half hour from Bonnyville. He would be right there. Justin Fontaine, who recently played for the Minnesota Wild, like 10 years ago, I suppose, but fairly recent. Bobby McMahon would be in the mix here as of late, current Toronto Maple Leaf. He's really carved out a nice, pro career for him. So those would probably be the 3 that had, maybe Harry York. Remember Harry York, Kevin?
I think I do, yeah.
Former Blue Penguin Canuck. So those would be a few. I'm probably forgetting someone, and then our general manager is going to text me after this and say, I can't believe you forgot this guy.
Yeah, he's probably going to be upset at you. What about this guy? Come on now.
Here's the name to watch in the next couple of years playing NCAA, Matteo Giampa. Matteo Giampa is the best player in my 7 seasons I've seen play for the Pontiacs. He's in his 3rd year NCAA. Keep an eye and see, maybe he might get a PTO with the team. He's been at a couple rookie camps. I wonder one day if he might play in the league.
The only other guy, and I don't think he played for the Pontiacs, but he played some minor hockey, was Sheldon Surrey. Played a little bit with, I think, the under 16. Maybe it was Bantam or something like that. I can't even remember. But it's about...
Yeah, from Fishing Lake.
Yeah.
Sheldon Surrey, not far.
35 years ago or something like that. So, good stuff, Michael. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thanks for the invitation.
Michael Menzies from Oilers Nation and Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, when we say we're on the road together, we mean it. From tires, wheels, oil changes to vehicle repairs. Check them out at fountaintire.com to find out more. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts. 833-401-1440. It's Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice.
Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Bowl. Yeah? Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:44 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us on the Kevin Karius Show on a Tuesday morning. Man, we talked about the temperatures. It's just warming up as the week progresses. We're going to be in positive digits once we get to Thursday, Friday, continuing all through the weekend and into next week. Text 833-401-1440. We were just discussing some great Bonnieville Pontiacs with Michael Menzies from Oiler Nation. He mentioned Harry York. Stephen Wetaskiwin texts him. Harry York, classic Pontiac, which was followed up by the Babber, Corey Bablitz, that says Harry York is now coaching Junior B in Wetaskiwin. His boy is on the team. So Duke, I think we got another guest to line up there with Harry York coaching with Tasquin Junior B. And Harry York, he's like in his 50s now, I think, but he played 244 NHL games. He's from Ponoka. St. Louis, he started with, had 14 goals as a rookie for the Blues. And then, I don't know, he must have been injured some time here. I'm just looking at the rest of his numbers. Played 74 games in 96, 97, had 14 goals, 18 assists, and never really got to those numbers. And there was some years where he only played a handful of games, so he must have been injured a few times. Finished his career in Vancouver back in 99, 2000, had a 54-game season there, had 4 goals, 13 assists. So cool. Now, the other text that came in regarding who played for the Bonnyville Pontiacs, Jamie Sadlowski. Now, do you know who that is? I'm pretty sure some of our listeners do. Well, Jamie Sadlowski played like 3 years for the Bonnyville Pontiacs, but he's not known for his hockey. He's known for being a world champion long driver. He won it many times. I did several stories with Jamie over the years when I was working back at Global. Just one of the best guys going. And there's another guy. So, Duke, we got 2 guys that can come on the show here just like that.
Wow.
Harry York, Jamie Sadlowski.
Sounds like great guest to have while you're away suntanning in Mexico.
Hey, you want to do a hit from Cabo? You're more than welcome to call me up. I don't know if I'll.
Yeah, exactly.
First of all, I got to take my phone, Duke.
I know, but you'll. I know Laura will have hers. I'll ring her up.
I don't know about that, man.
Maybe if she brings her laptop, you get on that hotel room Wi-Fi, do your video hit, show the guns off.
Yeah,
your beachwear.
Text 833-401-1440. Now, this is I don't know this, and maybe Mac the intern can help out. The King of Fort Nasty says, "Morning, KK. You're 100% correct, Karius. The Oilers game was just as clean as the Amazon broadcast feed." Jerry says, "Boys, what are your thoughts on the Amazon broadcast? They're taking a lot of heat right now." So I didn't see enough of it. I only saw, the third period and a little bit of the third there. So I'm not sure. Was it that bad in the sense of any of our listeners maybe chime in? Mac the Knife, did you watched it on Prime?
Yeah.
And was it just like pixelating? Was it not clean? What was going on? I don't know.
No, like the camera quality, like the actual quality of the stream broadcast, I guess.
Okay.
Is a million times better on Prime. I think just like the HD quality, right? Whatever that is.
So
but
it looked like fuzzy or something?
No, it was clear. Like clearer than when it's on Sportsnet.
Okay.
I think people's issue is the broadcast team, especially because everybody does love Jack and Louie so much.
Okay.
Or not everybody, but the guys on Prime, they talk the entire time and say every movement that everyone's making. Whereas when you listen to even other teams' broadcasts, they don't say every movement because you're already watching it, so you don't need that.
So you're talking about John Forsland, the play-by-play guy.
I think that might be the
That's
issue.
where you're getting it. I think John Forsland, for the most part, is quite respected in the business. Duke, he's one of your favorite guys.
I think he's one of the very best that calls games. And this is kind of maybe just a difference in preference of broadcasters, which is funny because Connor and I talked a little bit about this from a football side of things on Frenzy yesterday. I do find at times Jack and Louie get lost a little bit in their own conversations in the middle of the game. And you'll be like, it has been several minutes before they said a single thing about the play that's actually still happening on the ice. Some people like that. Some don't. It's just a personal preference thing. But like you, Kevin, obviously I didn't watch any of the broadcast itself, so I can't say if there were technical issues. I know in the past there seems to have been times where it'll lag or buffers for people, but sometimes that can be dependent on your own internet strength. And it, since it's a stream online and not an actual cable feed, like I think the vast majority of people still use, it is just a little more volatile and susceptible to interruptions.
Right. The other thing too is you're looking at a national broadcaster that doesn't have bias to one team or the other.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing that if you're an Oilers fan watching, you don't care for because you like the fact that Jack and Louis have little tidbits about the Oilers and the players and things that they see at practice and personal interactions about with them. Whereas these national guys will come in, they're here for the day, maybe go to morning skate, and then they're back out. Because the color, like it's Thomas Hickey, Shane Knighty, two guys that played in the league, and I think are pretty good color analysts as well when I watch them on the respective.
And Shelley was there last night.
Jody Shelley, correct, often as well. So, and when you watch them on their own team broadcast, Columbus, New York, and Vegas, they do a very good job with them too. So I think it's just a personal preference thing above anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. And thanks for all the texts. They're really sliding in. Papa James says the prime game announcers sound like an American network calling the game. Walter says the broadcast was just fine. Just haters just hating for the sake of hating. Tim says 100% agree with you, Duke. Play-by-play from Lance was one of the worst I've ever heard. Thing that bothered me was the nostalgia. When Jari lost his blade and made the save, they didn't acknowledge it or talk about it at all. It was frustrating and painful. John says the prime panel at the intermission is painful. Madison says, depends on your internet quality. We had to try on so many different devices. The only one that looked good on was the PlayStation. Our TVs and phones, Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough, wouldn't work. Don't know enough about that there. Elevator Darren. The problem with the game last night was the announcers were ahead of the video for most of the first period by about a second. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, in Jurassic Park, the sound was off for me and the announcers, and the intermission was so boring. Harry says no issues for him, clean. Bad captain. I will say that the Prime could shove in about 100 more commercials so they're up to par with Hockey Night in Canada.
But did you get to hear "Lay It on the Line" 1,000 times?
No.
Yeah, then it's not worth it. That's what makes it worth it.
Marty says they seemed to talk more about the Ducks even when the Oilers were winning. Eventually won the game. They kept talking about how great the Ducks were. And Chris Pronger on the panel doesn't help. Coach Al, Prime broadcast was good, like switching girlfriends, especially I don't even maybe send that in again, Al. It doesn't make sense just to probably a voice to text. Some great thanks for all the texts, man. They're coming in too fast to keep up with.
Lots of opinions on
the
broadcast. That's surprising, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they had Pronger on at intermission. I thought he was good. Looked like he got some new chiclets too.
Because obviously Pronger was here over the weekend for the Shorzy game, and he was coaching the team, right?
Yes, he was coaching.
And he was kind of involved with some of the other alumni work. Like he was seen on the in-game presentation for the salute to service.
Right.
He was presenting the jersey to the lady that was being recognized for her time in the armed services. And yeah, he was all over socials for the Shorzy game and over the weekend.
Radio free agent listener says, it is interesting that you now say the Oilers have to tighten it up defensively. Duke, you responded to him and said, ? In October and November, we constantly said the goalies are taking too much heat because the team defense is atrocious. Radio free guys says, go back and play it on many occasions. KK would say at some point the goalies need to make a save. But that is okay. You are the media that change the narrative all the time, and you don't want to be accountable, and that is okay, I guess. I don't get where you're coming from, pal. No idea.
Like, do you have to have one opinion after the first game of the year and stand by it for 82 games? Does the team not change? Does the game not change?
Tightening up defensively is everything.
Oh, 100%.
Everything.
Have you looked at how Stuart Skinner's been playing in Pittsburgh
the
last month? He's been off the wall good, and people texting him like, what happened? Well, if you may recall, he was actually playing really well the couple games before being traded, and that came on the heels of the Oilers as a team looking like an actual hockey team, which for most of October and a good chunk of November, they absolutely did not.
You know, and the Oilers gave up 3 power play goals last night. That's a lot of power play goals in a game, and they only scored 1 power play goal. So, I mean, Tristan Jarry made some great saves in the third, and as I said off the top, the Ducks pressed so hard in the third, they could have easily won that game, Duke.
The 2-on-1 save that Jarry made with the left leg, I can't remember who it was on, specifically, but it was about 15
Seneca, I
minutes
think.
left in the third period.
Seneca, I think.
Yeah, that to me was a big turning point of the game because it held it at a 2-goal lead. And obviously the Ducks did get one back eventually, but all of a sudden at 15 minutes left as opposed to a handful, a 1-goal deficit looks not nearly as daunting.
Yeah. Top of the hour, we will check in with Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet, Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, and Lorianne Munzer at 8:40 as well. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Matthias Ekholm with his first career hat trick last night. The Oilers beat the Ducks by a margin of 7-4. Leon Draisaitl also with 4 assists in the victory. Around the rest of the NHL, the Lightning blanked the Mammoth 2-0. Matthew Robertson has the OT win. The Rangers get past the Bruins 4-3, and the Islanders get a shuttle from Ilya Sorokin. They blank the Flyers 4-0. On the note of the Rangers making a trade with their crosstown rival Islanders, as the Isles have acquired defenseman Carson Soucy, Irma native, from New York in exchange for a third-round pick. In the association last night, 7 games total, including Atlanta beating Indiana 132-116. Donovan Mitchell with 45 points as Cleveland beats Orlando 114-98. Luka, 46 of his own as the Lakers top Chicago 129-118. And the nightcap, Minnesota gets past Golden State 108-83. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts continuing this morning with draw number 10. Currently on the sheet, PEI is taking on Alberta's Kayla Skrillik. Rink Newfoundland playing New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Christina Black taking on Northern Ontario. And Nunavut going up against the other Alberta rink, Selena Sturmey. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, and Olympic gold medalist Lorianne Munzer. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered with half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
Yeah, I'm not staying until then.
Hear that, Shoresy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8 o'clock in Edmonton. And time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, where Mike and the crew would like to thank you for all the support in 2025. But keep in mind, even though it's 2026, let's not forget about the huge savings that are still on the lot with all the 2025s in stock. Save now at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
Morning, kid. What's going on, man? How's the morning going?
Oh, well, we're off to a great start. Had a good first hour of the show. Hey, I wanted to get this text because it's something we discussed a little bit too. This is from Tim Buck. Get your perspective on Tristan Jarry losing that blade there. And, you know, it was the side of the net. So anyway, Tim says, I'm worried about the new skate blade fastening system. Jarry losing it, etc. I see one of them flying off every game, it seems. I think McDavid and Draisaitl are still the old system, or using the old system with the bolt fasteners. But he says, when's the industry, going to change back? Will someone have to, lose? Could you imagine if that happened and a goal gets scored in the Stanley Cup final, or even a player with a groin injury from Tim Buck? So I don't know. I don't know if it's just Connor and Leon. Spec, do you know that if it's just those two on the team that don't use?
I don't even know that those two don't use the new blades, frankly. I don't know that.
I don't know either.
Find out.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know if it's, put it this way. The equipment guys have this briefcase with these blades in it. And in the briefcase, there's like 2 sets of blades for each guy. And it's a giant briefcase that appears to hold blades for the whole team. Are there a couple of guys that don't like them? Maybe, maybe. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to think that everybody went to the new sticks and we said, oh, they break too often. One's going to break at an important time and we should get rid of these new sticks. Well, that never happened.
Yeah.
And I would say to Tim Buck, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't happen every game. It happens once every 7 games or something. Do you think it happens? It doesn't happen every game a guy loses a blade.
No.
It just happens once in a while. And I would also add that is the first time ever I've seen a goalie on all 32 teams lose a blade. Have you ever seen that before?
Not for a goalie, and maybe seen it, but not like the way it happened. Maybe it's because
I haven't seen it, period, for a goalie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's killer when it's a goalie. Like they almost, you're right. Luckily he made the save / the guy hit him with the puck. I'm not sure whether he made the save. A more attentive shot had about 80% of the net to score on.
Hey, Madison just texted and said Connor uses the older CCM chassis, takes 2 screws instead of a trigger. So that's how these ones work. It's just a little snap.
Yeah, it's a little trigger.
Quick to change, though. Quick to change if you need.
Yeah, way quicker to change. Boom, the guys do it. No one misses a shift anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right, because I do recall McDavid having a skate issue and missing a shift. Remember, he at one point somewhere, I remember him kind of disappearing, taking his skate off and waiting and then putting his skate on. So, that's why. That's one of the reasons why, right? Listen, this is technology. I don't know jack about skates other than I've skated on them my whole life. But if the industry's telling me these are the best things and they're the newest things, they probably are, aren't they?
You still probably have those old Langs. Remember those, Spec?
No, you know what? I wouldn't say it. Yeah, I had a pair of Langs growing up for sure. Yeah, the hard shell on the outside.
Yeah. Really basically vulcanized rubber on the outside.
Yeah, and Micron made those too. Remember Microns?
Microns, yeah. I used to have those, but the other ones with the Langs, they had they were almost like a ski boot, with the foam on the inside. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I mean, on one hand, they were very more protective, but I don't know, whatever. You know what? I have the skates I have now you can take the blade out. I've never taken the blade out.
All I know, Spec, is when I get my skate sharpened and the guy said, "Well, do you want 5/8 or a 1/2 inch?" I look at him and go, "You really think that it's going to matter?
Just sharpen the damn skate.
You really think that is going to make a difference?"
I didn't come here for a math test.
But I think some guys can. Obviously, you can feel that. You got to be a good player. I mean, you can't be an old hack anymore to feel the difference between the hollow and the width of 5/8 and a 1/2 inch.
Right. Hey, those guys that are in the NHL, they know what they're doing. They got there for a reason. I'm not telling Connor McDavid how to deal with his skates, I think he knows, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another wild one. I mean, the Oilers, defense has sort of been optional here the last 3 games. They won 2 out of the 3, but they're giving up 15 goals. And I think moving forward here, especially after the break, is where things have to, a little more attention to detail defensively, I would say, no?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Like Leon said last night when we talked to him, you're not going to, this isn't the way you're going to play out your season playing high scoring hockey like this. And we all know that as the league, year goes on in April and May, the team that's given up 2 is a team that advances. It's no secret. But, as he said, it's a long season. Sometimes you got to win games like this too. Sometimes you got to outscore the other guys. And, the Oilers fans are blessed with a team that can do that. If it's one of those games where the other guys get 4, the Oilers can go out and get 5 or 6 or 7. So listen, I way rather be living here watching that hockey, and you're going to lose the odd one of those for sure, than in a town like LA where they're going to get you 2 or 3 a night. And that's, if they get 3, they might win. If they get 2, they might lose, but there's no 4s, 5s, 6s, or 7s ever.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want that kind of hockey. I'd take this every day.
Mm-hmm. I really liked when Leon had a quick chat with Matthias Ekholm prior to the hat trick goal, just saying, okay, I think I'm going to just win it straight back, and you're going to have some time to go a little bit around the net and have a delay. And then he's got the open cage. Like sometimes, those, you can draw something up and it doesn't work, but that time it worked to a T.
Yeah. Leon, I mean, outside of the part where he gets kicked out of the face-off circle so often, Leon is Edmonton's best face-off man, right? Like, he's the clutch guy. And somehow this part I never get about Leon. I should find out his percentage when they're on the power play. Like when they're opening a power play with a face-off on his strong side of the offensive zone, he's money on that draw, right? Like he is money. So seldom loses it. But anyhow, nice to see. Draws it back. Ekholm with I'd say that's about 197-foot shot he makes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Lazar is pretty good in the face-off dot too, spec.
I guess, yeah. I mean, sure. Let's see how we, once we get to the really important games, let's see who takes that defensive zone draw. To me, the coach knows beyond anybody who his face-off man is. So you'll find out what Knobloch thinks when we start playing games that are really important.
Yeah. And Lazar's taken all of them, to the right of the goaltender. So
and that's what you want, right? That's what you want. So
and they haven't had that. They haven't had that. I don't even know the last guy. Was it maybe Bukestad? I don't even remember the last guy that was the right-handed that you could depend upon.
Yeah. So good. I mean, they're rounding into form. What are they, tied for first place with Vegas? I love this Anaheim team, man. Ooh. They're a good looking young team. Like I wrote today, they remind me of the 2017 Oilers. They're hopefully for them, they're going to make the playoffs for the first time. It's not a for sure. Like they're not in for sure, but they haven't made the playoffs in 7 years. They look like they're ready to make the playoffs. And then as Draisaitl said after the game, that's great. Awesome for you. You're in a playoff spot here in January. But he said, the playoffs come and it gets way harder. Yeah. And that's where you measure yourself. And that's where you find out about yourself. Like they're really the Oilers 10 years ago. And they got some really good players on that team. We're going to see a high full Anaheim in this town over the next 5-6 years, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, how about the guys that didn't play last night too?
Yeah, for sure, man.
You had McTavish, Carlson, Terry. So, I mean, and hey, let's be honest. I mean, the Oilers didn't exactly close that thing out. Anaheim could have won that game in the third period. They were full mark, so they could have tied that game easily. Jari was good, and the Oilers could have lost that, or at least the game could have been tied and maybe going overtime.
Listen, so look at it like I always do, Kev. Let's look at it from a glass half full perspective. It really came down to goaltending. When the Oilers had their push in the second period, they blew everything past who the hell was in net? Not
Billy Husso.
Sorry, that's right. I never remember that guy. Billy Husso. And when Anaheim had their push, Jari held fort mostly, right? Really did a great job in the third period. So Everyone complaining about save percentage and blah, blah, blah. In that game yesterday, to me, Jari held his team in and Husso didn't. And that's the difference in the game.
He makes, Connor's going 5-hole on the penalty shot. He makes that save. I didn't like the Ekholm first goal that was the deflection through the 5-hole because, he's just trying to put it on net. But Ekholm's shot on that second goal is an absolute bullet. Nurse picks the corner short side as well.
Yeah.
So,
they were pouring in, though. I mean, Ekholm and Nurse come down the same side and fire a wrist shot. I need a save on one of those. I'm not telling you which one.
Yeah.
But they can't all go in.
That Ekholm goal's like
that Ekholm goal's pretty good. Nurse on the short side, maybe. He did get a big piece of that Nurse shot, and it still went in. Hey, I'm not here to critique every shot and every goal. I'm just telling you, the goaltender needs to staunch the bleeding a little bit in that one. What'd they get? 4 goals in 3 minutes and 49 seconds, right?
Yeah.
A goalie needs to give me a couple of saves in there if I want to win a game, and he didn't, and you don't. So, Jari gave his team saves in the third period. Simple as that. Anaheim was better in the third period. They took that game, and the Oilers couldn't get it back, and good for Anaheim. Like, credit to them. But we all know who got the 2 points, right?
Absolutely. What do you think of young Szymanski in his game last night?
Okay. I mean, when he play 7 minutes?
Yeah, 7:43, just under 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Like he's blessed with size and speed. So that's going to give him a chance to hang around long enough till the rest of his game can find an NHL level. When you're little, you get less of a chance. When you're slow, you get no chance. So he can skate and he's got size. And as Leon said, and I thought Draisaitl was really pragmatic. He said, he's got a lot of tools and he looks like a nice young player and he's got a great attitude. He said, if he's got some work to do, but he might be an NHL player. And, that's even his countryman and his teammate isn't telling you it's a slam dunk, but he's got every chance to be a player. And I like that.
And this is a great opportunity and Leon's got other things to worry about. I'm not sure how much Szymanski's even going to play in Germany, but they're going to be on the bus together. They're going to be in the room together. They do get a practice. This is going to be such a big thing for Szymanski, and to have Leon there, that's massive for this Oilers organization.
Oh, listen, if you can, this is an organization that's in the part of their cycle where they trade away all their draft picks. So one thing Stan Bowman's been really good at here is realizing that, and I'm going to continue to trade my first round pick away every year. So I got to go off and find the odd guy, younger player that can play here. And, they've done a pretty good job of that. Like they made the Savoy trade for McLeod. They didn't love McLeod. They get Savoy. He's looking like he's going to be a player. Szymanski's 23 years old. He makes that Emberson pickup, a younger defenseman they bring in, right? Pod Coles, and they make a quick little 4th-round pick for Pod Coles, and they get younger. So my point is, like every contender, they're pretty light at the draft table, but they're managing to fill the coffers with young guys. And, Quinn Hudson's coming up, and he's ripping it up down there. And let's see where Ike Howard comes from. Who knows, man? So I like what they're doing. They don't look, Kev, like they're in for when they fall off the cliff, like they're going to lose for 7 years till they get to the top again.
You got to restock somehow. Take away all the guys that you're talking about that were drafted or traded for. So just use, for instance, Hudson, use Szymanski, and use Tomaszek. So those are 3 guys where you tried to find somewhere where they're playing. Hudson's obviously NCAA. The other 2 guys are in Europe. Well, Szymanski's played. Hudson has played. Tomaszek didn't hit. So you gotta throw some darts here, man, and hopefully this sticks.
Absolutely, right? So no, good for them. So that part's good. They got a couple young guys around. I mean, there's, I think we've watched this movie every year, Kev. Their games still not perfect. It's January, but they're sitting there tied for first place, so they're in a good spot. And I think you'll see their game come together. It has the last 3 or 4 years around this time. It's going to start to build, and then they'll get some juice at the trade deadline. And, I'm not telling you this is their year. I thought one of the last 2 years might be their year, and it turned out they fell a little short. Who knows? But we're blessed to have a good team here. You know, a team that I think we can trust, no matter what they look like on January 26th. They're going to look a lot better on March 26th. And, you know, let's take it from there, man.
Mm-hmm. Lance texted in and said, I swear that I saw Stu Skinner lose a blade last year, Spec. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't remember, but sure. It could have. We're old, man. That's
What kind of skates do you have now?
I have a set of Bowers. I could never wear tacks. My feet are a little wide. I never wear CCM ever. So I'm skate. I'm barely skating anymore, but I got Bowers. You?
I got old Graphs from about.
Oh boy,
long.
Does that company even exist anymore?
I don't know if they do anymore. Not sure if they do, but I know when I put them on, everyone laughs at me. So,
well, you should hear them once you start skating in them.
Oh, good one, Spec. All right, day off today for the Oilers. We'll see you whenever Wednesday.
Yeah, an unexpected day off. I'm going to have to find something to keep busy on.
Go and try to assemble some sort of a cupboard or shelf system.
No, actually, I think I'm going to, that's going to be my retirement business. I'm going to put on seminars on how to put those, how-to seminars. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
For all the Eddie Steeles of the world out there who don't have a hot clue how to put together an IKEA cabinet.
The two of you guys would be absolutely hopeless at any sort of assembly line. It would be, I'd pay money to watch it.
I'm the most handy optometrist son you ever met.
Yeah. All right, Spec. We'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet on the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. When we come back, Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
The big program, 8:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter. Plumbing, draining, clogged pipes like 3-pointers. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca. As we welcome in Frank Cervalli from Victory Plus TV. Good morning, Frank.
How you doing, Kevin?
Very good here. How are you doing out there, big fella?
Just trying to stay warm.
Have you got a lot of snow too? Like, is it
We
crazy?
got a 31 centimeter dump on Sunday.
31 centimeters. We had David Amber on yesterday. He said he couldn't even leave the house yesterday in Toronto.
Yeah, we stayed on top of it here, but yeah, I don't know. They don't know how to handle snow here.
Are you like going with the rapper look today, Frank?
No, I just got back from the gym.
Oh, really? Is that so?
My hair was a little. I don't know if you could see that. It was not in tip-top shape, so I kept the backwards hat on.
That's never happened before, Frank.
I think it has. I think you just haven't paid attention.
Oh, I've been paying attention. Your hair it's like you are the king of Brill cream, Frank.
Hey, set it and forget it. It's beautiful. It's like one of those rotisserie chickens.
Yes, set it and forget it. You've been watching too much late night TV and the shopping channel, Frank.
That's all those are the commercials we get on NHL Network here.
Really?
Yeah, they're all infomercials, and it's like the same one every commercial break.
Really?
It's tough. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Maybe out in Vancouver. I see Evander Kane's agent said maybe we can help facilitate something, but not too many teams have an interest, maybe for what the asking price is. What's up there, Frank, with Kane?
I don't even know that it's a high asking price.
Oh, really?
You're dealing with a player whose value has significantly been diminished by his play. And when you hit that point and you have a $5 million salary cap hit, you severely limit the number of teams that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it's not as easy to move money as it once was in the NHL. Can the Canucks still retain half? Yes. But it's not the same as being able to send him to a couple places and chop it twice. And all of a sudden that makes it work. So teams are being pretty judicious when it comes to that, plus assets. So it's not easy to move a guy in Evander Kane who, to be honest, just hasn't really looked like himself as a player since that bevy of surgeries.
You know, never mind the surgeries, Frank. You know how I would explain Evander Kane as a player in the last couple of years?
How's that?
This would be how I would do it. Like, players love playing in the NHL, or most of them do. Evander loves the idea of being an NHL player, in my opinion, right now. That's where I look at it for him. So
you're saying he's not working?
I just think he loves the idea of the NHL lifestyle, being an NHL player, the fame, the notoriety.
Well, better hang on to it because it's slipping through his fingers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now he loves the idea of it. And when you cross that line, your career is in jeopardy.
Yeah. And I also just think physically is maybe not capable coming off of all those surgeries. It wasn't one or two, it was 3 different surgeries.
Yeah. Elias Pettersson, what's shaking there?
Significant interest, and the Canucks are weighing and managing all that. According to sources, they have not had any discussions with Pettersson's camp about potentially waiving that no move clause, haven't floated any scenarios. And I think that's the real question for both the Canucks and then for Pettersson to answer. Is he the guy that's going to front the back end of this rebuild and what this team looks like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, whenever they're ready to come out of it? Is that the guy that they want front and center? And also perhaps equally importantly is, does Elias Pettersson want to withstand the next 3 to 4 years of losing? Would he prefer a change of scenery, or does he want to be the guy? And those are all really important questions that remain and need to be answered.
Do you think the organization wants him to be the guy?
I think the organization is caught in the middle. They see a player who's extremely talented, who warranted that franchise record contract. They see a player who has been a shell of himself since then. And they wonder if it's going to be painful watching that be untapped again, potentially elsewhere. But at the same time, are dealing with a guy who just hasn't had it since. And so it's this back and forth, this push and pull. Well, we have the guy right here. Okay, but he's not doing it. And how do you find a way? And that's really where the value lies elsewhere, right? Is teams see that and they think, oh, change of scenery, let's unlock that. We think we can get him back on track. They have that sort of belief that, I don't know. I think the Canucks are 50-50 on whether or not they themselves have the belief.
Right. Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. The Rangers win last night. Edmonton's Matthew Robertson scores the overtime winner, but earlier
Edmonton's own Matthew Robertson.
Yeah, Edmonton's own Matthew Robertson, former Edmonton Oil King, and pretty damn good golfer too. Can hit the ball a ton.
It was a beautiful play. I don't know if you saw it, but he just saw the ice and took it.
Yeah, cut into the net and
First career game winner.
First career overtime winner. Earlier, they trade another local product, Irma, Alberta's Carson Soucy. The Islanders, a rare Ranger Islander trade here, Frank.
Only the fourth one ever.
Yeah.
And actually really kind of the first one of substance, believe it or not. Soucy was not a fit with the Rangers. I don't know why the Rangers didn't seem to believe in him. And his play, to be fair, has been middling since leaving Van, just in the run up to that trade. Had been slightly disappointing, but I am a believer in Carson Soucy, and I think this is the exact sort of soft buy that the New York Islanders needed at this juncture. They've got the leading Vezina candidate in Ilya Sorokin. They've been banged up on their blue line. They don't have to spend a ton in a pending UFA in Carson Soucy, the big body that comes in that I think can really give this team a little boost, and maybe he'll be rejuvenated a little bit to get to a place that wants to have him as opposed to one that was just kind of dealing with him.
On the front of supplemental discipline here, Brian Russ will have a hearing today. What are you thinking here for that hit to Brock Besser, who's now on the IR, Frank?
I don't think this is going to be a massive suspension. And in fact, I'll be honest, I don't know that it really should be a suspension at all.
Yeah.
I think the circumstances, and I think this hearing is going to be really interesting because we've seen, and I'm not projecting this or predicting it, I think he will be suspended, but we've seen a couple players who have gone to hearing that have ultimately ended up not being suspended based on the way they explained the sequence. And I view the Besser injury not so much as a result of this shoulder to the head of Brock Besser, but more so from getting crunched by Ricard Raquel right after. And then on his way down, his head hits Sidney Crosby in the thigh or the quad.
Yeah.
That's a tough sequence for Brock Besser. But consider the circumstance. It's the dying seconds of a game. The puck is loose in the slot. Brian Rust is just trying to get a body on someone. He's not trying to pick Brock Besser's head, but Brock Besser also moves back and away from Brian Rust. And he at some point, he's just trying to catch a piece of him. So I understand, and Brian Rust isn't a dirty player. Like, it's not like he has this long history. This is an easily defensed circumstance in my view. I'm not a lawyer, but I think there should be some leeway here.
I'm sort of on your side here, Frank, because you know, it's funny how you look at it and everyone says, well, it's a hockey play. And I'm not saying this is a hockey play. That's not what I'm saying, but this is as close to a hockey play, I think, that you can get when you're up to face a hearing and possibly get a suspension.
I think this is totally different than an open ice neutral zone hit where you're trying to separate a guy from the puck. I think this is a mad scramble in the dying seconds of a game with a loose puck and you're trying to get a body on someone. That's my view. I'm not, not saying it won't be a suspension. I just think it's not worthy of something long if it gets one.
Maybe one game, you think?
Yeah, maybe. I think one game would probably work.
Toronto,
like the old slap on the wrist that Willie Nylander got.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs. Man, just unreal. I mean, the coach has a gash on his head, like from a gym incident. And you mentioned Nylander. They've lost a few in a row here. Nothing's going right in Toronto. What are they going to do here?
1-4-2.
Yeah.
And they're a team that really should be having significant conversations about making big changes to their group. And I'm not saying in the middle of the season, but they should be trying to recoup at, like, this team is not, they're not going to the playoffs. And beyond that, even if they were to get in, to consider them a contender, you're pretending. So with that, who is part of this Toronto Maple Leaf core, and how does it get back on track? Maybe just one of those guys is left standing. Maybe trading one of those guys makes the most sense. I just think continuing to bang your head against the wall with this group, and Mitch Marner is no longer part of it, I don't think they're anywhere close. And this patchwork job that they continue to do seemingly year after year in the spring, it doesn't make any sense. And they've got no future assets. Their prospect pool is incredibly thin. What do the next 5 years look like? It can't be a pretty picture.
So you're saying one of Nylander or Matthews would have to go, or should go, or
That's
could
what
go
I think you need
turn
to
this
have the
around?
conversation about moving one of those.
Do you think anybody wants Morgan Riley?
I mean, with the term remaining on that deal, I think it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
I think his
7.5
age
till
curve,
2030, yeah.
I think his age curve chart is not pretty. I think he's slowed considerably.
I mean, so you would say this would be after the season, so you'd run with it and maybe hope that you could get a playoff
Yeah, move
spot?
a couple pieces now, like move your soft sell. Hey, I don't know, pick a couple pending UFAs, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Scott Lawton, if you feel the need to. Maybe you find a taker for another Troy Stetcher, get a mid-late round pick. I don't, whatever it is, move out the pieces you can, cobble together whatever you can. And in the meantime, start having those hard conversations. Work through 20 different permutations of how we think that this team could change, and what are our options? Who's available?
Well, they're 6 points back of a playoff spot right now. Montreal and Boston have 63 points. Do the Canadians have enough goaltending here to make the playoffs, Frank?
Well, that's the question that they're asking themselves at this exact period in time. I think we're probably going to see a little bit of an extended run from Sam Montembeault to see if he can get his game in order. They don't really want to turn to Jacob Fowler. I don't think they want to put him in that position just yet. But if their goaltending doesn't improve, I can envision a world in which the Montreal Canadiens are not very active at the deadline because they don't really see the green light to go do it. And that's exactly what they're talking about right now.
Well, we're looking at the next couple of weeks here, Frank. Well, even less than that, for possible Olympic replacements. Is Braden Point the most prolific, high-profile guy that had the most serious injury?
Canada, yes.
Pardon me, on Canada, yeah. Okay.
But I mean, Sweden has a whole handful of guys.
Yeah.
And apparently, I mean, they're trying to hold out as much hope for someone like Gabe Landeskog as possible. But I can't advocate any more strongly for Zach Hyman than I have. And I looked again at the numbers this morning. Since Zach Hyman returned 24 games, the Oilers are 14-8-2. He has 19 goals and 10 assists for 29 points in 24 games, and he's a plus 14.
Yeah.
19 goals in 24 games. What more do you want?
You know, I'm not saying because he had a hat trick last night, Frank, but Matthias Ekholm's playing really well, and they got some banged up guys on that Swedish blue line.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that he's put himself in position to be one of those first calls. I mean, I had to think he was probably the last cut.
Yeah. What are you hearing on Point?
They've got 5 days here, 6 days to make a decision, and they've been waiting to see how he's healing up. They're monitoring the situation closely, and they feel like they owe it to him to give him every opportunity to heal up.
You and I, Frank, have been on the same page with Zach Hyman for a long time here. Why do I have the sneaky feeling that it's going to be Sam Bennett if Point can't go?
Sam Bennett, Wyatt Johnson, Mark Scheifele. I think you have to take Connor Bedard out of the running at this point. Bedard has 1 empty net goal and 3 assists in 8 games. It's not going to get it done.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of reasons, it should be Zach Hyman, to say nothing of the plug and play potential lineup possibility that just makes too much sense.
Frank, great stuff. I bet are you just dying to get in the shower here after that strenuous workout or what?
Yes, I am.
Really?
I'm on the air in less than 90 minutes. So,
well, yeah, you got to get
her going.
Back in the day, we called it hair and teeth, Frank. That was what it was called back in the day.
Hair and teeth?
Yeah, that's
what 3 S's.
No, on air talent was called hair and teeth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my 3 S's.
3 S's. What? Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, I got
Shower,
you.
shaven.
Yes. Well,
there you go.
I don't want to envision any of them, Frank, to be honest with you.
Yep. I got you.
Have a good one, big guy. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
See ya.
Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, and our headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter, the #1 overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That's mrrooter.ca. When we come back, Lorianne Munzer will check in with her usual Tuesday time slot. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick, Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalsuperleague.com.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Every fresh, chef-crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients and arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to eat, heat, and repeat. Order at meals.loca.ca.
The Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:41 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the intern with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. So glad you're with us here on a Tuesday morning. And that means it's time to talk to our mindset coach, Olympic hero, gold medalist, Lorianne Munzer. Good morning, Lorianne.
Good morning, Kevin. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Yeah. Well, doing great. You know, I was doing a little research on your favorite athlete, Lindsey Vonn.
And
see, well, I wasn't sure what I was reading. So anyway, it said Olympian Lindsey Vonn partners with figs. And here I thought, well, this is some kind of a nutritious thing that she was getting into, that she was eating figs. Maybe it would help her out on the ski hill. But apparently it's an apparel brand, figs. So I was way out to lunch there.
Okay. I didn't know that one. Hadn't seen that one in the news, but you never know. Leading up to the Olympics, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, then the other one, I thought that was not a bad line, but I'm just hearing the booze here in the background. And then another article that I did a little reading on was her talking about that big butts will always be in. That's what she said in a recent article. So, I mean, I know my butt ain't getting any smaller, Lorianne. So maybe that the big butts will always be in. Maybe this will help her because you're on the Lindsey Vonn train here.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm going to pass on that one there. I just, enjoy doing the leg workouts in the gym, but I'll pass on that one there.
Oh, I'm just teasing. I'm trying to have a little fun here, Lorianne. Come on now.
I know.
Are you getting excited for the Olympics, though?
Oh, absolutely. I got a Canada t-shirt, sweatshirt on. So bringing out the apparel. So the red and white countdown is on. So it's 10 days to go. Friday, we're 1 week out from the opening ceremonies, which is always, always exciting. I'm going to be looking forward to watching, the ceremonies there and the athletes coming into the stadium. I'm curious who's going to be Canada's flag bearer. I'm not sure who it could be. So excited about that. And so this Friday is also very, very, very exciting. We have the
well, actually, there's events too before, right? For the Olympics.
Yes.
They start on Wednesday, I think, correct?
They do. February 4th, I was looking at that. So they've got a lot of curling happening on the 4th, on the 5th, curling and women's hockey. And then officially the games begin on the 6th and they go through until the 22nd.
Yeah. So you were saying something this Friday. What's something that what's that?
Oh man, this is good. This is so awesome, especially for Edmonton. We have the grand opening of the Velodrome. So this has been a project that has been 21 years in the making. I remember when Dave Embury, super great architect, great community guy. He's been, the pillar of the Juventus Cycling Club that I've been with. The track officially opens. I mean, it has been open already. They've been working with athletes, training with those who are going to be teaching the Learn to Ride programs. So it's not just an elite facility. It's 3 facilities in one because it's shared with Edmonton Triathlon. It's shared with the city of Edmonton as well as the Cycling Alberta as well. So we've got that. And it's going to be officially official.
So what's this facility look like? I mean, I think a lot of people have probably seen it, from the road on 111th Ave there, but maybe just aren't so sure what we'll be able to see inside. So maybe just describe it a little bit for us if you can.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. From the roadway, like if you're heading up towards Westmount, shopping center or square. And then on the west side, you also have Ross Shep. So it's tucked in just behind that there. It's also to the east of the TELUS World of Science. And it is this incredible big shaped oval building. That's one of the stunning things is there's a gentleman that I know. And when we were talking, he goes, do you know that I actually did the exterior? So I get to see him all the time. And I've been asking him all kinds of questions. It is absolutely stunning from the outside. When you walk in, it's absolutely mind-blowing because you kind of come in and then you can go one of three ways. You can actually come in and be a spectator and, you know, see what's going on the track as well. There is a city fitness center. And then on the opposite side is where the Triathlon Academy is. So that's run, bike, and swim. It has connections into the Peter Hemingway pool, which has been rebuilt. And one of the really cool, interesting things that I don't know if it's all of Alberta, but I know for sure it's the city, is we cannot make a standalone facility anymore. They have to be integrated with a couple other facilities so that it doesn't become obsolete. Or it's like, you know, for the Olympics in Greece, they have a beautiful track, but nobody uses it. So it's a multi-purpose center where I'm going to say we're going to be bringing the world here. There's going to be some big events, enough like World Cups and championships. And it's just the calendar is going to start to become filled. I think this will be the Western, I'm going to call it the Western National Training Center because they have one in Milton, just outside of Toronto, Ontario. And that's where the main center has been until it's been built here in the West. So we now have 2 world-class facilities.
Wow. I'm just looking at some pictures too and really blown away by it. And you're like the architecture on the outside. Is this the friend that did that top part where it's sort of the goldish bronze, Lorianne?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. And it's just the work that, you know, Mike does with his company, and that is phenomenal. So just being able to have those connections and just a little, I can ask him all kinds of questions because he's right down the office door here.
Oh, cool.
But the thing is, there is so much detail that has gone into this. Dave Embury had given Kathy and I, my partner and I, a grand tour of it, and we got all the ins and outs. And it's one of the biggest structures, you know, spanning the length and even greater than the 250 meter wooden track. The really cool part about the track is only, I think it's the bottom 6 or 8 slats of wood are actually screwed in, tied together. All the other ones are floating. So instead of having to screw down every, you know, strap of wood, and it's a special kind of wood so that it really doesn't be affected by humidity or cold temperatures. It's just like the perfect wood is that it's kind of like a floating structure. And everybody who's ridden the track that I know of, that I've spoken to, said it is so fast. It is incredible. You look at the 46-degree banking, Kevin, and it is just wild going. How do you even stay upright? Like, how do you stay upright? And it's just your momentum of your bicycle, because you only have one gear, no brakes. So you're pedaling consistently and constantly. And that inertia, that force is part and parcel of what keeps you upright so that you're not slipping and literally falling off the track.
Reed Clark was just there this morning. He just texted in, our buddy Reed. He was just at Coronation. It opened this morning. Got the first shots up. It'll be great for Edmonton Athletics from our buddy Reed. You know,
love it.
The outside, I was just thinking the paneling, when it's that goldish bronze kind of color, it reminds me of Rogers Place with that paneling, which is silver. It's kind of got the same look to it. But this is just a different look with the gold and the bronze. But the inside pictures are fabulous, Lorianne, in the sense that it just screams European, doesn't it?
It just screams world class, Kevin. It's one of those. I keep thinking of Kevin Costner. Maybe we should invite him out on Friday. When you build it, they will come, because it's true. I had such a big dream of, oh my gosh, having an indoor velodrome would be great, because February, March, we'd be shoveling off the track because it would just be covered in 2, 3, 4, 5 feet of snow. And if we could get a patch, even, 2 feet, 3 feet wide at the very, very top of our track, which is even bigger, it's 333 meters, then we could potentially ride around, for a couple of laps, just to get the legs familiar with how does the banking feel. And, if it was a really warm day, maybe 0 or even -5, maybe we could get out. But having to train indoors on the rollers inside a tiny clubhouse, and even that has morphed and changed. And then now we've moved into the actual facility where you have all the rooms. You don't have to bundle up and look like the Michelin Man on 2 wheels trying to, grind it out through the snow there. My goodness, I only can imagine what could have been possible 20, 21 years ago when I was riding and racing and doing really well. It's the possibility of the next generation of athletes coming up, what they have in the facilities they have.
No kidding. So it's got an 8-lane, 50-meter pool, then the 330-meter indoor track, like probably a bunch of other stuff for fitness and things like that. Now, the velodrome is 250-meter indoor cycling, obviously. So you mentioned the one at Argyle was 330 or something like that. So
333.
333. How does this change then, because of how, you trained outside for, world-class events, etc., where this is now 250 on the indoor cycling track?
Well, that's a great question. There is no standard track. Typically, Olympic tracks, world championships, they are 250 meters around. The UCI, the World Cycling Governing Body, moved from having outdoor tracks and races for big events, major events, to indoor because of Mother Nature. When you're on a short timeline and to be able to run your events, you can't have a track that is affected by rain, because it's just like ice. You will slide, slip, and crash. So safety is number one. The outdoor track, the original one at the Argyle Velodrome, was built in 1977 for the 1978 Commonwealth Games. So that's the big legacy of that track. Unfortunately, with it being outdoors, Mother Nature has really, taken its toll, and the track has shifted, it's cracked, and it would have just cost an inordinate amount of money to rebuild it. So first and foremost, the idea was to build a new track indoors on the same, footprint, because there's a beautiful park there. They've got BMX, the Rockers Rugby Club, there's soccer, and there's all kinds of sports going around there. Over time, it just wasn't accepted by the city of Edmonton. So it was kind of back to the drawing board again and again and again. And what started as a smaller cost, even in the millions, I think it was $10 or $12 million when we first started 21 years ago, has now grown to 176 million. So it's quite a lot more, resources, to be able to build it. The costs have escalated, but the difference is there's different tactics on different tracks. Winnipeg had a 400-meter track, so it's really long. If you're a good endurance athlete, it's great. Edmonton was great. It was perfect, because you could either, if you raced on a larger track like Winnipeg or in Moscow, they had a 400-meter track, so you can adapt really easy. The shorter track is a little more technical, and that really suited my style of racing, how I approached the riders, the events, the racers. So training here in Edmonton on a 333 was fantastic. When I went to Athens, Greece to prepare, I went 2 weeks earlier and I trained in France on an outdoor wooden track that was really, really similar in degree banking, shape and size as Athens was, which was 250 meters, so that I could actually really get the feel for it. Because Kevin, when you're racing, you have 3 laps to go. You have to have a feel for your bike, yourself, where you are on the track, and the track, because every track has little different nuances. And it's just getting used to, where do I fit? Where are my strengths? Where am I at a deficit? Where do I need to close the gap? Steen and I, we prepared, we sparred. I slammed into him, he slammed into me, because sometimes we talked last week, you run into each other, sometimes unknowingly and sometimes on purpose, right? But you have to practice on, the terrain that you're going to be racing on.
What do you think the first, and I mean, it's probably unfair to ask you this, but what would be the first big event that could come here? Would it be something on a World Cup circuit? What would we be looking at as far as cycling goes here, Lorianne?
I believe there's an event booked next month, and I'm thinking juniors. So that is typically between the ages of 16 to 18. Anything over 18 is considered senior. I mean, until you get to the masters, and I'm not sure what that age. I'm not sure if it's 35 or if it's 55 anymore. Masters is a little bit older, but I believe that the junior event coming next month is going to be the first one. I think it's a big selection race for them. So this is serious stuff here. This is world class level. The technology is there. So we're going to see what's going to be coming down.
Marcello just texted in, Lorianne, and says they also have Canadian-made boilers heating the building. And in that mechanical room are several steam units to keep the humidity in the building stable, which would have to be because of the track and everything else. They would need that, correct?
Absolutely. And that's where I was talking about the wood. It has to be a very particular kind of wood that, it doesn't get jammed if there is a lot of moisture, but then it doesn't shrink if it gets really cold, like what we experience. So, I mean, I'm going to ask, is Marcello there, the installation and the brains behind that? Because there's so many different components there. There was a gentleman, David, I met golfing last year, and he is the light engineer. I think it was Williams Engineering is the company that he's a part of. And he was just talking about the different lighting, because on the track, when you're in, turn 3 and 4, the lighting is different than when you're on the straightaways. It's like, I had no idea. I'm just looking, going, okay, the lighting is really good, but it's something you don't think of as an athlete. But as an engineer, you're always thinking of all these different nuances. And, it's like, okay, Canadian-made boilers, woo, this is fantastic, right? Is supporting the local economy and just bringing in together all of these partners. I mean, I can only imagine how many people this has taken to, build it. I know the design and the engineering, and then bringing in all the partners and then all the negotiations to make it happen. It's just been, oh my goodness, you build it, they will come, and we're almost here.
Oh boy, it's so exciting. Do you know what kind of wood they use, Lorianne, for the track surface?
I think it's Finnish. It's slipping my mind right now. Do you know?
Yes. Norwegian spruce. It's the same kind of wood that Eddie Steele uses for his furniture building products.
Oh, no. Well, maybe we should bring you and Eddie to the grand opening. You should just let me know, and I'll get you and Eddie an invite, and Eddie can check it out and tell us how the wood lines up, and maybe we'll get you on a bicycle.
I'd like to see Eddie on. He'd need a tricycle, though, probably. That's what Eddie would have.
Well, I think that's what a track bike is. It's the adult version of the tricycle, but with only 2 wheels instead of 3.
Yeah, but he'd have one of those Shriner Fez hats is what he'd have.
Oh, I was thinking, on the ends of the handlebars, what are those streamers? We'd be getting those going. Too funny.
Exactly. Lorianne, excellent stuff. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And I can just tell how excited you are for this velodrome and everything else, the entire facility to be complete and ready to go here. So I'm sure you'll be spending many, many hours down there. So thanks a lot. Hey, Duke's in next Tuesday, so you'll be yakking with him next week. Thanks a lot, Lorianne.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Lorianne Munzer, Olympic gold medalist from 2004 in cycling. I mean, this facility, the pictures are amazing. I've seen it from the outside, but just sort of driving by quick, and you don't get the grasp of the enormity of the building and what it's going to offer for. And don't just think of it as the velodrome, though. Again, the track that's inside there for what we need in the winter will be state of the art. There's so many other things like the pool. Then there's other areas where you can train, fitness centers, things like that. So, I mean, the more fitness facilities we have in Edmonton, the better we're off for it, for sure. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll check in with Paul Sir from Hoop City. We got John Cullen from the Broom Brothers podcast and the con man Connor Halley in the 10 o'clock hour. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers victorious last night 7-4 over Anaheim. Matthias Ekholm netting the hat trick for the first time in NHL history that a team has defensemen score hat tricks in back-to-back games. Around the rest of the NHL, 3 other games. The Lightning blanket the Mammoth 2-0. Rangers win in overtime over the Bruins 4-3. Matthew Robertson with the winner in that one. And the Islanders get 21 saves from Ilya Sorokin for a 4-0 shutout victory over the Flyers. The Islanders and Rangers pulling off the first trade between the two clubs in 15 years as Carson Soucy, the Irma native, sent from the Rangers to New York Islanders in exchange for a third-round pick. And in the association, 7 games total, including the Sixers losing in Charlotte 130-93. Donovan Mitchell's 45 points propelled Cleveland to a 114-98 win over Orlando. And Luka Doncic, another strong night, 46 points on the board. Lakers take down Chicago 129-118. Draw number 10 this morning from Mississauga in this year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Currently, Alberta's Kayla Skrlik on the ice against PEI. The other Alberta team, Selena Sturmay's rink, going up against Nunavut. Newfoundland taking on New Brunswick, and the feature match has Christina Black and Nova Scotia currently leading Northern Ontario's Krista Sharp team 4-3. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Carey Show, we'll be joined by Hoop City's Paul Sir, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:05 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us on a Tuesday morning. Oilers with a big victory last night, 7-4. Players with a day off today. They'll practice tomorrow and then continue this homestand with the San Jose Sharks here on Thursday. And then on Saturday night, the Minnesota Wild. Got the Toronto Maple Leafs coming in at the start of next month. Oh, man, where did January go? And then it's a back-to-back for the Oilers. They head down to Calgary after the Leafs are here. So they got 4 more games here before the Olympic break. And man, the way he's been playing, maybe Matthias Ekholm, and with the injuries that Sweden has seen with various players on the blue line, we just did see, Erik Karlsson return when Pittsburgh came into town, but they've still got some banged up bodies on that Swedish blue line heading in to the Olympics. And the way that Matthias Ekholm has been playing, and again, not just because of the hat trick last night, but the way he's been playing in the last several weeks, maybe he deserves a call. I can tell you one thing. Oiler fans are going, this would be great for Matthias, but boy, we'd sure like to see him rested up and ready to roll for the home stretch here. I mean, Matthias Ekholm, he's at 26 points right now in 54 games. He's going to play, barring injury here, at some point, what are we at here? Probably halfway through next season. At some point halfway through next season, he'll reach the 1,000-game plateau. So, man, we've been handing out these 1,000-game sticks here for Edmonton Oilers players quite a bit here recently. We had Adam Henrique. We had Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Next year's going to be Matthias Ekholm. And full marks, wonderful career so far, and still lots to give. Searching for a Stanley Cup. Man, oh, man, 35 years old. He's a big body, and again, he's been pushing his pace of play. There's no denying that for the last several weeks. So first ever career hat trick last night in the 7-4 victory. And here are Matthias Ekholm's post-game comments.
Thank you. Jealous of Bouchard? You had to go out there and get a hat trick of your own?
Yeah, yes. Nothing I thought about before, but I guess that's how it turned out. So yeah, fun moment. That last face-off too, was up by 2, up by 1. I'd probably just try to chip it out, but yeah, try to take a look at least at it and see what happens. But fortunate enough to get in there. So yeah, cool moment.
Evan said that it was his first ever hat trick ever. What about you? Is that your first ever?
Oh, probably, as far as I can remember. Yeah, no, I usually not known for my goal scoring ability, so couldn't buy a goal for 20 games and then 3-1. So that tells you the story.
Were your kids here or up watching the game at home?
They were here for warm-ups. They were here. I think they were here for the first. So tough luck. I don't know. Maybe my oldest watched it on TV, but I'll have to check with my wife later. The games go pretty late, so they got to get up for school tomorrow. But we'll see the highlights tomorrow.
Who would be the most excited of your kids to see the dad got hat?
Probably, I think all of them, but William's older, so he's 7, so he understands it more obviously, and he will get on the highlights by himself. So I'll say him, but I think all 3.
You were saying the other night that you were going to make them watch Bouchard's game. What did you pick up from Bouchard's game? Because it seems like there was something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like you look at the goals too. It's just trying to join the rush on the first 2, and sometimes they just happen, right? There's no real explanation. It's not like I changed my game overnight to then obviously score a hat trick. It's just one of those things. Some nights you have your bounces go your way and whatnot, and yeah, try to enjoy this one because probably be my last.
First time in history, 2 defensemen scored back-to-back hat tricks in the NHL.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
a lot of years.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Evan actually said it on the bench there, so it was a cool little moment for us. Like, we've played together now for quite a while, and love playing with them, and to be able to have nights like this on not back-to-back nights, but back-to-back games it was a pretty special moment.
So there's a side of your team, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just said we're going to eventually have to dial in our defense, and you want to play better defense, but you guys still can rip off a couple of 10-goal nights like this, both wins. You can score with anybody in the league. Is it still a valuable side of your team? Win games like this.
You're asking a defensive defenseman to love a 7-4 win. I don't know. I love the win. I love every win. I know they're hard to come by, and you got to celebrate your wins. But I agree with that too. I thought we could have played maybe a little bit of not as safe as death. You can't play safe, but a little bit more of a sounder, cleaner defensive third period. With that said, you're absolutely right. Like we can run and gun with the best of them. So it's both ways.
What's your opinion of that young Anaheim?
I think they got some good pieces for sure. I mean, it seems like they got a lot of speed. They got a lot of skill. I think what the last question was about, you can run and gun. I think they can run and gun, but I think when they dial in their defensive game, I think that they'll be a good hockey. They're already a good hockey team, but they'll be a great hockey team. Obviously, they got a goaltender or two goaltenders in there too that are playing well. So, I think they're taking steps every year, it seems like.
Have you ever had any games where you've had two early in the game and you said, "Oh, tonight's the night back in Nashville, or tonight's the night I'm going to get three"?
I actually just talked to some of the guys. Actually, funny story. I had at Rexall, it was my second year, I think. I had two goals, I thought, and then I had a look at the empty net. I came to the bench. Guys were like, "Oh, you missed it. You had a hat trick." And not to call Mike Fisher out, but he was net front on the second goal, and he would look down at me, and he's like, "I tipped that one, so you wouldn't have had it anyways." So, somewhat.
It's a good Christian taking that goal.
I know. I love Mike, though. He's a great guy, so it was funny.
That's Matthias Ekholm. Everyone in good spirits, obviously. You know, you get a hat trick and you're full of laughs. And I mean, those are fun scrums to be in when, you know, a player like Matthias Ekholm scores 3 goals, because, as he said, it's never happened before to him. And to see, you know, you see Evan Bouchard jump into his arms, man. Like, I mean, that's a 7-4 goal, but you could see how genuinely happy he was, and the rest of his teammates, for sure. Hey, Speck and I were texting a little bit just after he left at 8:20 about Jay Woodcroft and his return. And Speck was saying that I missed the Jay Woodcroft acknowledgement on the Jumbotron. I said, no, I don't think you did, Speck. But maybe there should have been one, because he spent a lot of time here. And Jay Woodcroft came in 2015 with Todd McClellan to be, you know, an assistant coach with this team. And then there was a point of time where, you know, he went down to Bakersfield to learn how to be a head coach. And he learned that in Bakersfield. And then, you know, when things didn't work out here that whole year with Dave Tippett, and when he was fired, and then Jay Woodcroft came in, that's 4 years ago. He was head coach of the Oilers for the remainder of that year. They lost in the third round of that playoff run. And then he's, you know, the following year, he had 50 wins as a head coach before he was fired. I mean, it's 13 games in. They went 3-9 that season before he was replaced by, you know, Chris Knobloch. So he took some time off. He applied for a lot of jobs. Jay Woodcroft applied for a lot of jobs around the NHL, but returned to Anaheim to be with Joel Quenneville for this year with the Ducks. So, Duke, do you think there should have been? I mean, were you waiting for one last night? Were you going the video tribute, or just maybe even similar to the Corey Perry, you know, welcome back,
right?
You know, kind of thing, instead of not like a Stu and Kulak thing.
Yeah, I think something like that would have been more appropriate. I'm not shocked there wasn't one, because I do think there's just naturally this more or higher affinity for a fan base to players returning as opposed to, say, a coach. And I know a lot of people are in agreement that, you know, he kind of got a little bit of a raw end of the deal when the team started so poorly, and it was an inevitability, apparently, like at a certain point, that they were going to make a change, and the turnaround was almost not quite immediate, but in pretty short order after Chris Knobloch came in. So it's tough for him. Glad he got back on his feet, like, you know, taking this job in Anaheim, and is going to kind of hopefully work his way back to another head coaching opportunity. But I wasn't waiting for it. and I wasn't surprised to see it, but I do think it would have been a nice touch. Because like you said, he had a ton of success here
Here a long time.
over a couple seasons.
And in Baco too. So it's the organization.
Yeah.
So I can tell you when he was fired, Duke, in 2023, how the player, and this was just when we were starting the show, really, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I remember like we're only like a couple months into it. And it happened on a Sunday morning.
Yes, you guys.
Connor and I came in to do like an emergency version of the show, essentially, to get on air to talk about it because of the shocking nature of it. That this team that came in with Stanley Cup aspirations, back-to-back times losing to the eventual Cup final in the Western Conference, and the start they had was so atrocious
3-9.
It people were calling for it, and it kind of had to be done. And then. Then there was
walking off the ice and
like the lip readers, right? Is like, this is it. I'm done.
But the players, to a man, they would tell you that they weren't happy about it, but they understood it.
Right.
That's how they would explain it to you. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to switch things up and change gears. We're going to talk a little basketball with Paul Sir from Hoop City. That's right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We are also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
Yeah, I'm not staying until then. Hear that, Shorzy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season, stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Coming up to 9:20 in Edmonton. Always cool to check in with Paul Sir from Hoop City for kind of a weekly chat almost. We do it probably every 10 days or so. Good morning, Paul. How's it going, big fella?
Well, it's going great. I mean, the fact that it's cool to check in with me, I feel pretty special here, Kevin. So,
well, we're always cool, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
You were the king of cool. When I think back, when you were, in Winona with those tight shorts and that big handlebar mustache, man, that's cool.
You know what? Yeah, I was cool. That was a cool era. Short shorts, big socks. Oh yeah, that was a great era. It really was.
It was cool too on Sunday. So the Raptors beat OKC, and wasn't a great fourth quarter by any stretch for SGA, but a win's a win, and when you can do it on the road, all the better too, as well, Paul.
Well, and I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, the Raptors are in third in the East.
Yeah.
They're playing really well. Quickly was the player of the week in the Eastern Conference, deservedly so. He had a 40-point outing, averaged 25.5. He's looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we go back to Kevin. They go into OKC, the juggernaut early in the season, win. The Raptors continue moving up the rankings, the standings rather. Great time for the Raptors. And I think, we go back to exceeding expectations. Do they make a move? I'm going, why? Why would you make a move when you're finally healthy and you're playing this well?
How important is home court in the playoffs, Paul, in your mind?
I think it's really important. I think everybody assumes that when you have a home court edge especially in the first couple of rounds, that you have a distinct advantage over your opponent. It doesn't always statistically work out that way, Kevin, but certainly I think theoretically, number one, and motivationally, number two, it's important to have something to strive for. And home court advantage is a reason to keep accumulating those W's during the season. So a win against the number one team, of course, that's important. But what you don't want to do is drop games against teams that you should beat. And the Raptors have been pretty good about this year. So they've got to keep that trend going.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at how close teams are from, I guess, the second position in the East all the way down to, 5 or 6, well, even 7, I guess Miami and Philly, I'm just looking, are both at 9.5 back here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That tells you how the importance of that. I always think though too, Paul, like I was in hockey sometimes, and maybe basketball's different. Sometimes it's better to start on the road in the playoffs. It seems like the team's looser or something. I don't know what it is. You find that in basketball too?
Every team's a little bit different. Some teams respond really well at home. They respond to the crowd energy. Other teams, not so much. They don't handle the pressure. Hockey is a bit different, I think, than basketball, because the scoring, of course, is just so much lower, and so much hinges on individual plays making the difference in a game. It can be that way in basketball when it comes down often to what you do in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have a shot at winning the game when you're down one? Those sorts of things happen. I don't know that they happen quite as commonly in basketball as they do in hockey, but I think the presupposition that you want home court advantage is always there in basketball.
Yeah.
That you feel that you've really got a leg up if you get that extra game at home.
Paul Sir from Hoop City, our guest on Sports 1440. The trade deadline's coming up here February 5th. How is this going to be handled with so many of the possible guys that could be traded being injured right now here, Paul?
Yeah, it is such a bizarre time in the trade world, because normally leading up to this upcoming deadline next week, there's a lot of excitement. You wonder what's going on in the back rooms, which still very well may be happening. But the attitude towards trading seems to have seismically shifted over the last year. The Luka Doncic trade really seemed to bring a spotlight to the absurdity that some teams will go to. And of course, that was extraordinarily bizarre. But I think too, the trend, as we've touched on, Kevin, in our previous conversations, in the NBA, the trend right now is don't make blockbuster moves to try to get somebody in to change your team around and create a whole new dynamic, but rather build through the draft and build through development. And that comes from the success of OKC primarily, but also the emergence of San Antonio in that way of suffering for a few years and being able to build a team through those other ways as opposed to blockbuster trades. Add into that, you've got the big names, Giannis, Morant, hurt, and in Morant's case, a head case. And so you really don't know, like you want to, yeah, there's a lot of talent there, but how are you going to manage it? And are you willing to change the whole dynamic of your team to bring this guy in who is injury prone and also is problematic both in the locker room and in the community? So yeah, the lack of excitement for a blockbuster trade, which still may happen, is something I haven't seen before. And it's going to be interesting to see if somebody just goes, you know what, we'd better pull the plug. We'd better let's get Giannis in and let's hope. That still could happen, but certainly the aura around the trade deadline is nothing like I've seen before.
So how do the Bucks handle Giannis here, Paul? I mean, is the return going to be higher right now than maybe next year if they hang on to him here? Because he's got one more year on his deal, and then he's got the player option that you would think that he's going to decline. So where and when would be the best return for him?
I really don't know, other than if you get a good deal, you probably got to take it. I always am interested and fascinated by how history repeats itself in professional sports. And, I can refer to the NBA because I'm most familiar with that. But now you've got a situation in Milwaukee with a superstar player in Giannis, who is kind of coming to a point where you've tried to build around him. You haven't been able to do it since your NBA championship successfully. The Lillard experiment, for a variety of reasons, didn't work. But you go back all the way back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was the same thing. Milwaukee won a championship with Kareem and Oscar Robertson, but then it just came to the necessity of making a move. So they made a trade with the Los Angeles Lakers that certainly helped the Lakers become a powerhouse in the 80s, in particular when Magic arrived. But now you've got it with Giannis, and it probably makes the most sense for Milwaukee. If they get a good deal now, pull the trigger. If you wait until next year, pull the trigger. Maybe next year Giannis is healthy and rolling again, and somebody's willing to roll the dice. But right now, he's injury prone. You never thought you would say it. He was kind of an Iron Man for a long time. Now he's injury prone, and he's getting in his 30s. So, man, oh man, what are you willing to give up with the hopes that he's going to be the guy? Now, the one that you hear about always is San Antonio. They've got assets. Can they, put Giannis aside, Giannis and Wemby on the front line? Be pretty imposing right now. So
that's some serious wingspan there, huh, Paul?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Try getting your shot off against them. I don't even think I could have gotten a shot off against him, Ken.
Yeah. Your sidekick on Hoop City, Josh Fenwick, has been waiting patiently here to get his 2 cents in with you, Paul. And I'm going to throw it over to Josh. And I know that this is going to be such an intricate question, and the follow-up that's going to come after. I can't wait for this. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm getting my AI platform brought up so I can just try to keep up with him. So,
hey, Paul, how's it going?
Good, Josh. How are you?
Living the dream, buddy. Living the dream.
I know you are. I know every day.
What do you take away from Luka Doncic's game? Because over the last 4 he's averaging well over 35 points per game, bunch of made free throws, averaging a ton of assists, 10 assists a game. Why is Luka as good as he is?
Why is Luka as good as he is? Is that the question?
Oh no, it's dumb. I know. Is that the question? I mean, essentially, that's what the crux of it is, right? But like, what is Luka Doncic doing right now to have reached all of these markers, which apparently no one ever has in a 4-game span per Opta stats?
You know, Luka Doncic to me is maybe you can make a case he's the most interesting player in the NBA, along with Nikola Jokic, because both of them play in slow motion and and controlling the opposition. When you watch Luka play, it's like the game is in all sports. As you become better, the game seems to slow down. The golf, the ball seems to get bigger. Tennis, the same. But in basketball, it's your ability to slow the game down and see what's happening. And you talk about the 1, 2, and 3 plays ahead. But Luka really, he doesn't jump over people. He's a horizontal, not a vertical player. But man, the way he controls his opponent, the combination of the preparation that he did when he took seriously the criticism that he had in Dallas, that he was out of shape, then I think I think what has happened is with Luka, the game now, because he's in shape, because he's been healthy for a streak right now, Josh, the game's just become so easy for him. And he just controls. When you watch him play, like last night against Chicago, the guy looks like he's just at a different level. He's seeing the game differently than everybody else is running around except Luka. And he's just tearing you apart, either with scoring in a variety of ways, his step back 3, his mid-range pull-up, gets you on his back, he fades in, he does a Euro step. But he always finds the guy who's open too. So it's a great question. Why? Because he's so darn good. And the way the NBA defensive rules are written, it plays into a player like Luka, who has stated it's much easier to play in the NBA than in the EuroLeague. And he just is able to pick defenses apart.
Josh, was like, was a hell of a question, big guy. Just a hell of a question.
I know I didn't word it right.
I couldn't keep up, Josh. I apologize. So
are getting on me.
Yeah, some guys are texting in here, Paul.
Sorry to you guys. Unrelated, did you see the announcement of the NBA Rising Stars roster and that a certain Sean East II made it?
He's not bad. He's, Sean East, who played for the Stingers, is he was a marvelous player. Like we have had, I think Sean was a bit in the shadow of the now Winnipeg Sea Bear Xavier Moon, so much so that maybe people didn't appreciate how good Sean was. But having the opportunity along with Doug McClain to call the Stingers games and watch Sean, in some respects, he's every bit as good as Xavier was, and maybe a little bit better in certain ways. Because Sean, again, plays at a pace along the lines of what we're describing with Luka, his ability to slow the game down. So good on Sean. I think this makes it highly unlikely we'll see him back in a Stinger uniform this year because he's going to get a 2-way deal.
I mean, all of the texters that are giving Josh a hard time, Paul.
Oh, dear. Sorry, Josh.
I don't know if I want to read them to you because they're making me laugh, but they're just giving Josh a hard time, and that's the way
I'm going to lift this down.
No. Hey, Paul, just on the local front, and I know just the Stingers were just addressed and things like that, but I mean, we're getting closer to them getting going again, and where the U of A's at. Is there something top of mind that you want to address locally here?
Well, the Pandas last week had their success in Regina. They're a powerful team. Whether they can overcome the mountain that, the mountaintop that Lisa Tomaitis and her University of Saskatchewan Huskies are on in the national championship scene remains to be seen. But Scott Edwards, they keep getting better and better. And that was a tough, road trip to go to Regina. Well, anytime you go to Regina is a tough road trip. But I think they're playing really well. Bears continue to play effectively. It's good. McEwen had an upset of Calgary the week before. Great for 2 reasons. Great to see McEwen be successful. Even better that it was against Calgary. And so good things happening in the local scene. Our ACAC teams, Nate, very good. Augustana, very good. The Kings, very good on the women's side. Some great local basketball. And on the men's and on the high school side, St. Francis Xavier. My gosh, what a phenomenal program has been built there. They have the best club program in the city and probably in the province, in my opinion. Jeremy Pastorero, his father, do a marvelous job of building. They're ranked, St. Francis is ranked number 1 in the province, deservedly so. Great things happening on the local basketball scene.
Hey, Paul, have you been at, because Reed Clark sent a text in, because we had Lorianne Munzer on, she was talking about the new facility at Coronation that's got the velodrome, but it's also got, basketball nets, it's got everything there. Have you been in there yet? Have you seen?
I have.
And?
Fantastic. From a basketball standpoint, I mean, the track is amazing. Like I can't believe people do what they do on that track on cycling. But from a basketball standpoint, I love the open play area that they've built out. That will be a great place recreationally for people to come and just play. Has great 3x3 applications as well. And then the 2 courts that they've put together, again, fantastic addition to the basketball community. Very, very excited. Very, very impressed. What a wonderful facility. And the dollars that it took to build that kind of complex facility is pretty impressive. Far less expensive than a number of the wonderful rec centers we have that were heavy on design and maybe a little bit lighter in terms of functionality. But this is a gem. This is a big addition to our community and a big addition to the basketball community.
Well, I got to let you in on some of these texts here, Paul, as we close it off. Triple C says, I feel Josh for the old wake and bakes, not Fred. After that question from Josh, I couldn't concentrate on Paul's answer. Oddball says, it's like asking an artist, where do you get your ideas from? Husk says, tell Mr. Sir, I will try harder to get a question in it so we don't end up with that question. Why Luke? Scott says, I haven't laughed so hard at a radio bit in a long time. Attaboy, Josh. Tee up another one. And then MTR says, worst question I've ever heard, Josh. Karius, next Spoilers guest you have on, just let Josh ask them, why is McDavid so good?
I feel badly because honestly, you think you have a little more self-control when you're in radio, but what I blurted out didn't help the situation, Josh. So my apologies. I didn't mean to shine the spotlight on it like that.
So good. Anything for Hoop City, or is it just too early in the week to let us know?
No. Ben Golliver confirmed with me yesterday. I can't wait to talk to Ben on Friday. I especially like it when Ben and I are able to record because he's not available on Saturdays. But if we can record Friday afternoon, it's really close to our program. I'm working on getting Alan Horton from the Timberwolves on as well to talk about the woes of late. They had a big win against a completely depleted Golden State team last night. It was kind of a useless win, but the T-Wolves have been awful as of late. But I'm really excited about getting Ben in. Oh, and by the way, I will tell you this. I don't know how many people listening watched the BYU Arizona game last night, but my gosh, was that a great basketball game.
Really? It was on in the press box, but there's other things going on in there. But I saw it was on one of the TVs in the press box. So.
Arizona was up 19 in the second half. Now, the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah, seats 23,000. So there were 23,000 insane, screaming Mormons there, just absolutely going crazy for BYU. BYU cut it to 1 and had a chance to win it down the stretch. And coming back from 19. And DeBonstra, their player who will be 1 or 2 in the draft, he had kind of a pedestrian 30 points, but he's a freshman on the heels of a 43-point effort against Utah. It's just incredible basketball. The NCAA basketball March Madness this year is going to be as good as I think we've ever seen it, top to bottom.
Well, Paul, thanks for this. On Saturday, maybe you can get Josh to ask your Minnesota guy why Anthony Edwards so good. I don't know if that'll work. I don't know.
Why does Anthony Edwards jump so high?
I don't know. Good stuff. Have a great show, Paul. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot,
Kevin. Thanks, Josh. You guys take care.
Paul Sir, Hoop City, 10 o'clock till 12 with Josh Fenwick on Saturdays here on Sports 1440. When we come back, we're going to go in or out with the Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing. Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 943 in Edmonton. The Buffalo Bills have a new head coach. His name is Joe Brady. It's going to be a 5-year deal to take over from Sean McDermott as their new head coach. Been with the Bills for 3.5 years, 4 years. He was the quarterback coach before becoming offensive coordinator. Now he'll serve as the head coach. 5-year deal. Obviously, Josh Allen had a lot to say about this. Brian Daboll was also interviewed. Apparently, Brian Daboll is now being interviewed in Vegas for the Raiders, but the new head coach in Buffalo, Joe Brady. Time now for Are You In or Out?
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, Letterbuck.
Edmonton Oilers winners last night, a track meet game, 7-4 the final over the Anaheim Ducks, but it wasn't pretty start to finish. There were moments for Edmonton over the course of the game, but I think if it weren't for the Ekholm hat trick that has everybody feeling a little giddy and happy this morning, celebrating the first career 3-goal game for the Viking, I don't think there'd be as many rosy feelings about the Oilers game this morning if it weren't for that accomplishment.
I don't know. I'll probably be out on this one, Duke, just because, I mean, it was a 6-4 game at the time. He gets the hat trick at 7-4. So, I mean, they had all but locked it down already. A win's a win. I mean, the 4 goals by the defenseman at that time, and then the addition to the hat trick, back-to-back hat tricks. I get it all. But, I mean, I think they'd still be happy with, and again, Matthias Ekholm said, you're going to win different ways at different times.
Very true.
And that's the way it goes. I mean, for people that want a 4-2 game every time with an empty netter,
it's not going to happen.
It's the way it goes. So,
yeah. You're not going to win every game 1-0. You're not going to lose every game 2-1. There are going to be these, looser type games with a little more pace. And I think opponent will often dictate that, of course. But, I mean, we are looking at a little bit of a trend here that this is kind of just the way the Oilers are playing right now. And you can, to an extent, chalk up that there's sometimes bad defense. Sometimes it's a save that you'd like your goalie to make. Both can be true at the same time. But outside of that spree where the 4 Oilers defensemen scored goals, the rest of the game, it wasn't really like I was blown away by what the Oilers were doing at any given point in time. And that's not going to happen every night. But once again, I go back to, we talk about this stage of the schedule and how favorable it is for Edmonton. This team comes in second half of a back-to-back, backup goalie in. Yeah, you do victimize them for 5 goals, but they're missing 3 of their top 6 forwards. It's maybe I'm being a little too nitpicky, but I would have liked to see them win it in a little more of a resounding fashion, if that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's 5-3. That's when you want to lock it down.
Right.
I mean, Ducks on back-to-back, 3 and 4. That's the only concern to me is the third period where the Ducks were way better than the Oilers.
Words right out of my mouth,
Could have
Kevin.
easily won the game.
I leaned over to Slick during the third period and I said, if you had asked me, I was blind watching this third period, I would think Edmonton was the team on the second half of the back-to-back.
Exactly.
Whereas, because you a lot of times see teams on back-to-backs come out with a lot of jump to try and stagger their opponent so then they can compensate for the fact in the later stages of the game they might not have the jam left in the tank. Wasn't really the case last night. Anaheim, saved that lapse where they gave up odd man rushes on essentially every shift, and several of them resulted in goals. Then, outside of that stretch, they were right there with the Oilers, and for large portions, the better team in the hockey game. So a win's a win, not taking anything away, and the Ekholm hat trick is an excellent feel-good element to it, but still a lot to be desired.
And speaking of Matthias Ekholm, Chris Johnson just reporting, Duke, that the Swedish Olympic team has added forward Marcus Johansson and defenseman Hampus Lindholm to the roster as injury replacements for your Duck, Leo Carlson, and Jonas Brodin.
Was Lindholm hurt when this team was initially announced?
I don't know. Well, so
I honestly that never
came
even
down 1 minute ago.
That never even registered with me when we saw the Swedish team that Lindholm wasn't on it, because I certainly would have thought he would have been. But besides the point, interesting there. So the Ekholm injury possibility seemingly more bleak moving forward. 10-game slate in the NHL tonight. A couple of interesting matchups on the board, but if I'm trying to pick 2. And they're not true doubleheaders because they do just start an hour staggered. There's a couple late games, sure. But pick yourself 2 games to watch if Kevin Karius can figure out the split screen action in his home to try and maybe watch a couple at the same time. I'm taking the Panthers hosting the Mammoth and the Blackhawks in Minnesota as my 2 games of the night.
Mammoth on a back-to-back, lost 2-0
in Tampa last night, yeah.
So I'm obviously pulling for the Mammoth here because of my long-standing prediction that Florida will not make the playoffs.
Going to be on the outs, right?
Having said that, I'm out on it, Duke. I'm out on this one because I want to see what kind of response the Toronto Maple Leafs have after what's happened on the weekend where they got blown out by Vegas, blown out by Colorado.
Right.
So they got Buffalo coming into town tonight. And the Sabres, if the Leafs want to make the playoffs, Sabres are a team that they're going to have to knock out.
Very
true.
true.
Have to pull back. So, and then the other one I want to see, to be honest with you, maybe it's just because it's Canadian teams. but I want to see the reaction that the Golden Knights have after they got pumped in Ottawa. So they go into Montreal. We just talked about it with Frank with the Montreal Canadiens goaltending situation. What happens in that? So I'm going to go with those two games over the ones that you mentioned, even though those two are great too.
Hey,
not a bad,
the
not a bad
Vegas
slate.
Montreal game was very high on my list, and your points about the Maple Leafs is an interesting one. Naturally, you sounding a lot like Toronto media.
Yeah,
Kevin.
yeah. Wait till radio player guy, whatever, he's going to text in that. Yeah.
Yeah, but both really good ones. And even, I mean, like the Kings are not the most exciting team to watch, but Detroit certainly has been this year, a very surprising team. So even that is one that I would be interested in. And if you're an Oilers fan, want to maybe do a little bit of a pre-scout in the late game, the Sharks are in Vancouver tonight, out on the left coast. So plenty of good options to choose from tonight. Plus, we got, of course, the Scotties late draw, NBA action, and plenty of other things to tune into. It is Pro Bowl week in the NFL as we take a break in advance of lead up to Super Bowl in Santa Clara. Shedeur Sanders named to the Pro Bowl yesterday in news that shook the world of football. I was going to go as far to say that he is the worst player to ever be named to the Pro Bowl, but I actually did some looking, and I can't even say that reasonably. I mean, we'd make the joke about Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowler back, I think it was 2022. He played like 5 games, and he was in the Pro Bowl. His numbers were for 5 games were nothing to write home about either. So, and there was another guy too from many, many years ago that was ranked number 1 on this particular list. So I ditched that and instead just went with a simpler one. Like, this event continues to get more laughable year after year. Players withdraw. They're not hurt. They're not still playing. They just simply say, I have no interest in going to this. It is beyond fixing. Like, there's no solution. We've seen different leagues try different formats for all-star games. The NHL going to 3-on-3, the NBA trying some different gimmicks and shticks. We're going to see baseball maybe mix things up moving forward. I don't think it's possible for football. I think they should just scrap it. You can be named to the Pro Bowl, and that's an accolade on your end of year, end of career accomplishments. But they don't need to have anything to go along with it.
Yeah, totally in on this one. And it used to be, remember they had it after the Super Bowl, right? They had it.
Was it? I don't recall that.
Yeah, because
when that happened, it predated me following football closely enough.
And to be honest with you, back then it wasn't that bad.
Well, dude, the infamous play of who was the guy on the punter faked and then came up, and then Sean Taylor absolutely laid him out. Because they're still playing for something. They still had a little animosity, a little jam to their game.
And I get where it's gone to, but I mean, back then when it was after, it was almost, so if you even played in the Super Bowl, now you're on your holiday. You go to Honolulu, and you'd have your holiday, your vacation. The other teams were waiting for you there. They probably went down earlier. But I mean, that's one of the big plays in the Pro Bowl. But for the most part, it was flag football and easy going. But I don't, and to have it in between, it stinks. Get rid of it. Yeah.
And do you think them not doing it in Hawaii anymore? I mean, like, they've had it in Vegas, Orlando this year, or last year is when it was. Excuse me, I don't even know where it's at this year. But do you think them not doing it annually in Honolulu does take away from the at least commitment from the players of a willingness to go to say,
a reward?
Hey, I'm going to take my family on this little week-long trip to spend in an actual destination holiday.
If you just finished the Super Bowl in a grueling playoff season, you went down there and you didn't take part much in the game, but you put on the pads and whatever, stood on the sidelines, and you enjoyed your teammates and enjoyed the fellowship. To have it in the middle, it makes no sense to me. And well, to have it at all makes no sense. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly check to see if I could figure out where it actually is this year, and doesn't have it for me. I don't know. I don't know. Oh wait, Moscone Center.
Ooh.
Which is it's in San Francisco. So they're just doing it the same place as the Super Bowl, which doesn't really, I think, trigger much for guys to motivation to go. Over to the curling sheet, Scotties Tournament of Hearts group play continuing from Mississauga. We got the morning draw on right now. The feature match has switched over after a bit of a lopsided affair on the one game in a field that does not have Rachel Homan and her dominant team as they're going to the Olympics here in a couple weeks' time, and a large number of first-time appearances for teams this year. Even some of the players that have been there before, it's their first time as full-time players or as skips, however you want to put it. I think Carrie Anderson and her rink that is wearing the Maple Leaf for Team Canada is a runaway favorite for the event.
Just lost last night, though, Duke.
True.
To Caitlin Laws.
True. Great shot by Caitlin Laws in the second end there. Had it in the intro of the show today.
That's going to be my
little
first
angle
question
raise.
to John Cullen then here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go off a little bit off the beaten path, and it shouldn't be considered that. I'm going to be out on this one, and I'm going to say, for some reason, I think it's Christina Black's time.
Something poked me that you might be going in that direction.
So she's 4-1, I believe.
Yeah.
Tied. Peterson's first in Pool A. Black's 4-1. In the other pool, Laws is 5-0. Anderson's 4-1. So those are the four that you're thinking about right here. So it's going to be a good conversation we have with John Cullen at the top of the hour.
I mean, hey, credit to Christina Black. She's fresh off of a runner-up finish at the Olympic playdowns and trials, and pretty devastating. It was at home for her, losing the games to Homan, the 2-game set, but she's looked like it's only fueled her even more so. She's playing really well here to start this year's tournament. Finally, today is National Plan for a Vacation Day. Wow, Kev, right up your alley. Couldn't draw it up any better. Just days away before you jet off to Mexico for a very well-deserved week off. Hey, everybody needs time away. Got to recharge the batteries. There's no ill will from me. The best planned addition when you're scoping out your week abroad, wherever it is limit it to maybe a tropical destination, I think is a snorkeling and or scuba excursion. The best thing you can plan.
Before I get to the answer, my buddy Terry O'Flynn texted in and felt today's thing should be because it's Thomas Crapper Day.
I did see that too. I did see that, yeah.
Yeah. The English plumber and businessman who revolutionized sanitation through the flush toilet. But he didn't actually invent the flushing toilet.
Okay.
But it's funny how
we've had we've had plenty of toilet talk on this show before, usually when Eddie's in here. So I figure we maybe save that for another day and talk some vacation instead.
Like, it's funny how that's when you say I'm going to go for a crap. Well, that's after Thomas Crapper.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
That is funny how we pick those things up over time.
I'll go, you know what? This is a tough one, Duke. I've never gone scuba.
Yeah.
Lots of snorkeling. I shouldn't say lots, but enough snorkeling.
Right.
I have never gone for the training for the scuba.
You got to get certified, Kevin.
Yes, and you can do that in the pool.
If I can't scuba, then what's this all been about?
Exactly. But I don't know. For me, it's probably golf, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because more and more, basically every tropical destination has a golf course now.
Right.
So I would probably say golf.
I thought you were going to say fishing. Deep. Get out there, reel in some trophy fish. Bonita fish.
Yeah, I've done that too, and only caught barracuda really. So,
well, and that's so the golf thing, and you knows better than me. I've never golfed while away on vacation, except for an actual golf trip, which was staying here in Canada. It's quite expensive.
Yeah.
To go when you're down in Mexico or elsewhere.
It's not going to be,
and I'm sure
cheap.
It's not inexpensive to book yourself a little actual excursion, whether it be through one of the companies or the resort to go scuba, snorkeling, whatever. But you can golf here. You can't go scuba diving.
Not right now.
For,
you can't.
for tropical fish.
Not right now.
Here in Alberta.
Unless you're going to Terra Pines.
Yeah, unless with weather warming up this weekend, I might give them a call, see what their tee sheet's looking like.
It might be open. Yeah, no, good stuff. Good stuff, Duke. At the top of the hour, we got John Cullen from Broom Brothers Podcast. We'll talk a little Scotties, maybe Olympics moving forward with the curling. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by First Round. And man, they've got everything ready to rock and roll for the big parties at the downtown location and the mall location here on Bourbon Street for the Super Bowl parties. And we've been giving away so far 2. We've got 4 more to go, tables of 6. So be listening over the course of this week and next week on this show and on Fantasy Frenzy as we give away 4 more tables of 6 for the big party. You could win up to $3,000 in home theater between the video and the audio components for the home theater. Here is the Duke.
Sports 1440 update.
10-game slate in the NHL tonight, including the Maple Leafs back at home, taking on the Sabres. Vegas is in Montreal. The Kings take on the Red Wings. Mammoth going up against the Panthers. Jets play the Devils. Stars are in St. Louis. Canucks hosting the Sharks. And the nightcap game, Washington in Seattle against the Kraken. Breaking news out of the NFL this morning. Buffalo Bills promoting offensive coordinator Joe Brady to the head coaching position. Brady been with the team several seasons, initially coming on as the team's quarterback coach. From the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, draw number 10 this morning. Some finals to report on. PEI losing to Alberta and Kayla Skrlik 10-4. New Brunswick beating Newfoundland 9-6. Nova Scotia doubling up on Northern Ontario 8-4. And Selena Sturmey, the other Alberta rink in the field, beats Nunavut 10-2. In the association tonight, 7 games for your viewing a pleasure. Oklahoma City hosting New Orleans. The Knicks take on Sacramento from MSG, and Phoenix going up against Brooklyn in the desert. Coming up in hour 4, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by John Cullen from the Broom Brothers podcast, as well as Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:03 in Edmonton. And excited to talk a little curling now because it's that time of the year where we got the Scotties, we got the Brier, and of course we'll have the Olympics coming up as well. It's that time of the year for sure. And it's the game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where clear out on the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas continues. The Sahara package is our best seller. We've got the great selection to pick from, starting at $59,900, expecting them to sell fast. So come in soon before they're gone. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome in John Cullen from the Broom Brothers podcast. Morning, John. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, so just before we get to everything at the Scotties, we have a little segment called In or Out. And the question, I'm going to read it as such, and I guess it is the Scotties too, though. Here it is, and I'll see if you are in or out, John. So here, Scotty's Tournament of Hearts continues in Mississauga in a field without Rachel Holman and a number of first-time appearances. Carrie Anderson's rink is the runaway favorite. Are you in or out, John?
Before the event, I would have been in, but now that we are 3 days in, or I guess 4 days in, I'm going to say I'm out on
Okay.
that. Not runaway favorite. I think she could still win, but based on how it's gone the first few days, there's some other horses that are catching up.
Mm-hmm. So who are those horses catching up in your mind right now, John?
Well, it's I think coming in, we would have thought the two sort of favorites were Carrie Anderson and Christina Black from Nova Scotia. Christina beat Carrie in the semifinals at the Olympic trials back in the fall in November. And I would say that, we thought, and Christina was bronze last year as well. So I think I would have thought those two were maybe, you're kind of looking at that's the Scotties final. Christina's played very well so far this week. They do have one loss, but they're 4-1, and they look like they're playing very well. So they're in there. But it's a couple Manitoba teams. Caitlin Laws has stuck with her team throughout the whole quad. They have not been great. I think a lot of people had high hopes for them when this quad started, and they've been just okay. This looks like the best they've ever played. And Beth Peterson, now skipped by Kelsey Calvert. They're 5-0, and they're looking very good as well. So yeah, it's kind of turning into like 4 or 5 teams that sort of all feel like they're in the mix. Carrie hasn't kind of come in and put a stamp on it where you'd say, yeah, she's going all the way.
Yeah. John Cullen with us on Sports 1440. Kelsey Calvert, you mentioned her, formerly Kelsey Rock, a local product, Marcel's cousin. What's been the dynamic of this team in your mind, John, that working with Kelsey throwing 4 stones and Beth skipping at third, what's the dynamic been for this team to be successful?
It's a great question. I honestly just think that Kelsey is a skip, and some people just are born to be skips. And we saw that she won back-to-back World Junior titles, won them with 2 different teams, by the way. Usually when you see teams win World Junior championships back-to-back, it's a same or similar group of 3 or 4 that win them. She had a completely different team both times and won both times. And I think as she got into the women's game, she struggled a little bit and was okay taking a bit of a step back. But I just think skip is her best position. And they sort of figured out, okay, this is where we need to be. This is the right mix for us. And I think Beth was a good skip, but had kind of shown that maybe wasn't that sort of elite talent that was going to win you big games. And it just seems like they're both more comfortable, Kevin. I don't know what it is for Beth. She's been pretty much a career skip, but she just seems to have fit in right in at third. And I think Kelsey, yeah, she's just comfortable throwing the last rock, and that's difficult to find. And I think they've really stumbled onto something. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. They've started undefeated here so far, and they've looked great doing it.
Funny how you say that, John. Marcel Rock was elite. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
But when the Furby 4 started to really take off, I mean, that's when the dynamic and the change switched there. And Dave Nedouin threw skip rocks and threw final rocks. Randy focused on the strategy and things like that. So maybe there's something in the blood. I don't know. Who's hard to say.
It could be, yeah. Who knows? But for sure, it's there's been a history of teams kind of making that switch and it just kind of changing everything for them. And it kind of looks like that's what's happening with them for sure.
Hey, I'm an old cone snail, John, but I've covered curling for a long, long time. My first Brier was in Regina in the early 90s. Done many Scotties and been lucky enough to cover this great sport. I don't recall it ever being, and I'm not, maybe changing of the guard is the right terminology, but there are so many young teams and young up-and-comers and great, like 21, 22, 23-year-old curlers. Is this something that you would say that you've never seen before with the amount of quality young curlers, especially in the women's play, taking over the game?
Yeah, it's been a while for sure. I think we can kind of look at the teams that are currently in the men's and women's game, and there's a ton of great curlers that are around 35 to 45 years old. That was sort of like a golden generation in a way. You know, you've got all kind of your top men's skips in that zone, you know, Kevin Cooey, Mike McEwen, Brad Jacobs, those kind of guys. And then on the women's side, Rachel Homan, Carrie Anerson, you know, there have been teams all kind of in that age. And you're right, there wasn't sort of a group that really came in strong behind them. You know, usually you would think of it as sort of a 4 or 5 year cycle as players age out of juniors and decide to get into the pro game, as it were. But yeah, this definitely feels like a new crop right now. As you said, tons of teams in the Scotties for the first time, in and around that 25-year-old age. Taylor Stevens, Jolien Fortin, Taylor Reese Hansen, Haley Armstrong, like the list goes on and on. And yeah, you're right. I probably haven't seen anything like it, but I think a lot of it too, Kevin, is also that, you know, the older skips used to bring along the younger players, right? And, you know, you talk about Randy Furby's a great example, right? He played with 3 guys in Dave Nettowin, Marcel Rock, Scott Pfeiffer that were all 10 years younger than him. That used to be the standard. And now it's kind of not. It's sort of like these young teams just kind of have to cut their teeth and try to break through on their own because those older players just kind of keep playing with each other. And so I think that's also part of what you're seeing here is a bunch of these young teams who have all kind of stayed together out of juniors are just kind of breaking through now.
Yeah. John Cullen with us, Broom Brothers podcast on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. What have you seen from the Alberta rinks so far? We got, you know, Selena Sturmey from the Salvo Community Sports Center, Kayla Skurlik. What have you seen? And they're playing well right now, and they could be one of those teams that we're looking for down at the end of the road here once the round robins wrap up too, right, John?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 very good teams. Selena Sturmey had a great run at the trials, came through the pre-trials, and then had a really good run at the trials, almost made the playoffs there. Kayla Skurlik, of course, had the great Scotties last year. That's why she's a wild card here in this field. I think first of all, they're going to play today. So that's a big game for both of them to try to stay at 1 loss. I think will be important in this pool where Black and Peterson are already starting to separate. But yeah, they've played pretty well. I would say Skurlik I'd be a little more concerned about just because she hasn't played any of the top teams yet. So yes, she's 3-1, but she has remaining games against the other 3 teams that are at 1 or 0 losses. So she still has to play Peterson. She still has to play Black, and she plays Sturmey today. And they really haven't had a great season, to be honest with you, Kevin. I like their team. I think Kayla's going to be one of the future stars of the game at skip, but for whatever reason this year they've been struggling. So I like Sturmey a little bit more, but I think that game that the 2 of them are playing coming up here later today is going to be a really big one for both of them in kind of determining who's going to have a better chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, John Cullen with us, Broom Brothers podcast. It's always weird and different, again, when you have the Olympic year and Rachel Homan and everyone's hoping for her. What do you think the expectations would be at the Olympics for Homan? Again, as everyone knows, John, that the gap's closing, and it's probably closed with other countries being just as good as Canada when they get to the world stage.
Yeah, it's funny because pardon me, I've cautioned people against exactly what you're saying, that, you know, I think the world has caught up. I think on both the men's and women's side of the ledger, there are really good teams. And I would say on the women's side, some countries have passed us, like Japan, South Korea. Like they both have 4 or 5 teams that could compete and win on the world stage. And Canada doesn't really have that anymore, to be honest with you, but that's a much longer conversation for a different time. But I caution people. I say, look, the expectation for curling is not always gold anymore. However, Rachel Homan has had 2.5 of the best curling seasons we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. She's the back-to-back world champion. She had an over 90% winning percentage the last 2 years. She's won a bunch of Grand Slam titles in that time. She's world number 1 with a bullet. So I think even Rachel would say herself, the expectation is gold just based on how good they have been the last couple of years. But with that said, Anna Hasselborg's in the field, Silvana Tiranzoni's in the field. They could easily not win gold. But I would say, yeah, for Rachel Homan, that is sort of the expectation just and that's her own fault in a weird way, because that's how good she's been.
Yeah. What about on the men's side going to the Olympics again? The field's exceptional. It's going to be tough. Canada's got a great squad, local flavor too with Mark Kennedy, but Brad Jacobs is going to be a tough one for sure for him.
Agreed. I think the men's field is a little more tightly packed. I think the women's field, you can kind of say reasonably that those three teams I mentioned, Sweden, Switzerland, Canada, I think are most likely going to be in the playoff picture at the end of the week at the Olympics. Mm-hmm. For the men, I think you're looking at more like 5 or 6 teams that all would have a chance of making it into the playoffs, and Brad Jacobs is in that group for sure. They won bronze at the Worlds last year in a very similar field to what the Olympics looks like this year. I would say Jacobs is a team that could definitely win gold. Are they the favorite? I would say no. I would say it's probably Scotland's Bruce Mowat. They're the defending world champion, and they've been the better team on tour over the last couple of years when compared with Brad Jacobs. But Jacobs has a way of turning it on at the big events. They had the best overall record at the Worlds last year, and I think there's definitely a way where they could win gold. They could definitely win a medal. I think that's a reasonable expectation. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're the favorite going in.
John Cullen with us, Broom Brothers podcast on Sports 1440. I maybe wanted to ask a technical question for you, John, just with all the sweeping news that's come in and out of the sport here, and the directional sweeping and the brooms and everything like that. Where do you stand on all this? Like, what's it done to the game? Is it good, bad? I mean, what's the reaction been just from people that you hear and talk to about it?
Well, I don't know how much time you have, Kevin, but no.
You hear all day, right, John?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would say really what is sort of in the balance is we don't want the game to become 100% a sweeper's game, right? You want there to be more of the skill in the shooting than the sweeping, because the shooting is harder than the sweeping, quite frankly. But curling also doesn't want to be an officiated game. Like the players themselves have officiated the game since time immemorial. Yes, there's officials on the ice to mitigate disputes, but for the most part, the players on the ice want to settle their own game. So that's what you have to kind of balance is we don't want it to get too crazy on the sweeping side, but how do you do that without having anyone enforcing it? And so I think those kind of rule changes you've seen over the last few years are all kind of trying to find that delicate balance. For me, I don't really have an issue with the directional sweeping. I think it's allowed curlers to make more shots. It's allowed the athletes in the game to kind of show off their strength and skill. I have no issue with that, but the technique that they banned a couple weeks ago, very strange move going into the Olympics, where curlers were trying to slow the rock down. I think I agree with banning that for sure. But yeah, it's definitely something curling's going to have to continue to grapple with as the broom technology gets better and as these athletes keep trying to find an edge. It's going to be something we're just going to continue to talk about until we find that perfect solution, which I don't think we've found yet.
Yeah. What was it a couple weeks ago, John? I mean, it was Rachel Homan. I can't remember who they were playing, but all of a sudden, whoa, you can't do that. You can't sweep like that.
Yeah, they were playing Satsuki Fujisawa from Japan. And that was actually an old rule. So it was very confusing because people were like, well, that's not the new rule. That's not what the new rule is. And Rachel wasn't trying to enforce the new rule. That was sort of an old rule where you're not allowed to start your sweeping stroke from beside the rock because that can be seen as depositing debris in front of the rock. I don't think Fujisawa was doing it on purpose. I think that moment got kind of blown up a little bit. I sort of felt a little bad for Rachel in the aftermath of that, especially with the brooms kind of on everybody's mind. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Do we want to continue to have the players look bad, I guess, and try to, give it to another team? Hey, you can't do that. Or do we want to have an official doing that? And I think we're kind of at a crossroads right now with all of that.
Well, you know what I say, John, bring back the corn brooms.
If that would make it easier, Kevin, I think we'd do it.
Yeah, and also, I want to see Chuck Paczykowski. Well, I don't think he's around anymore, but he used to do curling play-by-play on radio, John.
Oh, nice. Nice. We haven't done that in a long time. I feel like that would be very hard to do. Trying to explain where the rocks are in the house at all times doesn't sound like very much fun to me.
It's very riveting. Yes. Very riveting. A lot of people used to listen to him years and years ago. So Hey, thanks so much for this, John. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the Scotties, and then obviously the Brier and the Olympics coming up for curling. Really appreciate it, and then continued success with the Broom Brothers podcast.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin. Appreciate you having me.
All right, that's John Cullen from the Broom Brothers podcast, and the game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where again clear out on the remaining 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas continues. You can get into them for under $60,000. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, the con man, Connor Alley's in the building somewhere. I don't know, maybe he was singing. There was a bunch of stuff going on in the downstairs, down part of the station here. I don't know what he was doing, but con man's coming in right after the break. Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. And Josh Fenwick, Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperatures dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1024 in Edmonton. Final segment and two segments before we wrap things up on a Tuesday. And that means on a Tuesday, then we've got our main man, Connor Halley, entering the building. Good morning, Con Man.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Lots of football news to talk about this morning because there's quite a few announcements and things like that have just popped up here in the most recent hours. The big news, obviously, in Buffalo, Joe Brady, 5-year deal to make him the Bills' new head coach, was the OC. Started out as quarterback's coach there.
Yeah.
Not that long ago either. Only 3-4 years ago when he was the QB coach. This has, to me, it's all Josh Allen written all over it.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard that he was going to be in the meetings and having those discussions, and obviously he's the franchise player. You're paying him as much as you are. Yeah. He had to have a little bit of an input on this one to say, yeah, I like what he does here. And to me, I don't know. I guess we've seen it in other sports where teams bring in an assistant and they have some success. It doesn't work all the time. No coaching hire does. So I don't necessarily dislike it. I'm intrigued to see what they do defensively now. Who becomes the new, how much of the staff is retained now, because, you have a lot of the same pieces in place. So you would look differently defensively. I'm intrigued by this one for sure. I thought they might have gone for the outside hire, but then when the change of direction was made so late, it's like, where do you go? Some of the guys were already picked up already. And obviously guys like Mike Tomlin set to take a year off. So I'm intrigued by this one. It's going to be a fun storyline to watch.
I want to get your opinion on this one with Brian Daboll, because Brian Daboll, just 10 minutes ago, he's announced as the new offensive coordinator in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now, contingent upon him not getting the Raiders head coaching job, which he interviewed. If I'm the Raiders brass, I don't want a guy saying, I'm going to take this job and I'm going to wait. And if, this is technically my first choice.
Yeah.
But it's not my first choice. I'd like to be the head coach of the Raiders, but just in case, I better take this job now. To me, this is so stupid. Either you make the call or you don't.
It's the same as Mike McDaniel with the Chargers.
Yes.
I mean, he was good to join the OC, but just in case I get hired in Buffalo or Vegas or whatever it might be, want that out. I feel like that should just be kept quiet. We haven't agreed. We have agreed, but we're not going to tell anyone. If it doesn't work out for you, we'll take you back, but we don't want to make this publicly known. And I'm thinking with McDaniel, I'm wondering if there was a timeline as well. Like, we'll give you a week. If you get hired in a week, maybe we'll let you walk. But yeah, I mean, it does make it kind of interesting. You're certainly on the back burner. Tennessee, you're there. Cool. If I don't get another job, but if I'm Tennessee, I don't want that information out there. I don't want people seeing that.
It doesn't make sense to me.
He walks in the room and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're your second choice."
I thought you wanted to be the Raiders head coach, but you're okay here.
Yeah.
Oh, just to make sure you got a job.
Take
to
the
me, that
paycheck.
stinks.
And you're just gonna, in all likelihood, do it for a year.
Yeah, because
then
you want to be back
looking for a head coaching job.
If something happens now and the next year when 8 head coaches are fired, so your name's going to go in the ring again. Well, just stop it.
But
it's hate it.
I love it as the Chargers. Like Mike McDaniel, I don't care. He could do whatever he wanted. He could have interviewed for CFL jobs as long as he comes back to the Chargers.
Tell me why you like this guy so much for the OC with the Chargers.
Well, he gets the run game going. Obviously, Devon Achane, 5.7 yards per carry last year with Tua. I have a little Tua here. I'm going to give him to Donovan Paulson. I don't want to keep this in my house. A little Tua toy. The passing game when he first got there, and part of it was the receivers that he had with. Obviously Waddle and Tyreek Hill can stretch the field. But their yards of separation when they caught the ball was 3 yards a couple of years ago. He schemes things up. He's aggressive. He takes chances downfield, which the Chargers don't do. Greg Roman, you could find the screenshots of the playoff game against the Patriots where he had Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey running within 5 yards of each other in the end zone. Okay. One player could cover them both. McDaniel comes from the Shanahan tree. I just think he's the change they needed. And he's so different than Harbaugh in a sense because you see the personalities out there, but likes to push the ball downfield where Harbaugh wants to run the ball and run it again and wear teams down. But you look back at Shanahan with McDaniel, he does that too. And there's stories of him when he was with the Washington organization where McVay and the other guys were kind of breaking off, talking about the pass game, McDaniel was going, hanging out with the offensive line. Like, how do we get this going? So I just think,
I've never seen you this fired up about the Chargers ever.
well, because I had Greg Roman calling plays for 2 years, and it really took a mental toll, physical toll on me. And I just think he's just the total opposite. So will it work? He could be gone in 1 year as well. Like if they fix that offensive line, the interior, and they have success, he could be gone in 1 year. I'm fully expecting it. But I just needed to see Jim Harbaugh make a decision, fire his friend, because if he didn't fire Greg Roman, I would have had so many questions. Like, is he really a leader? Can he be the guy to lead this team going forward?
If O'Marion Hampton's healthy, if the O-line is healthy, are you saying that Hampton could have, let's just put it at a 1,400-yard season?
Easy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's all of a sudden he's launched into the first round of your mock drafts here.
Come on, man. Wow.
He'll be the bell cow. Kamani Vidal can help out. But
Vidal was good, right? When Hampton was hurt.
Well, he'd have a really good game, then he disappeared. Then he'd have a good game. Up and down. It's funny talking Chargers with all these ifs, because that's kind of if man, Justin Herbert. But like if they upgrade the center position, Bradley Bozeman, another one, he's got to go. Thunderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens, they for whatever reason didn't give him that 5th year.
Yeah.
Joe Ortiz, the Chargers GM, would have been the assistant GM in Baltimore when they drafted him. So you got the connection right there. I'm just thinking, Zion Johnson with a couple of capable offensive linemen beside him isn't so bad. And then maybe you draft, you go to free agency. The offensive line could be built up pretty good. And then to your question, I think Omarion Hampton all of a sudden fantasy stud.
So as the defending champion of Doopies, I'll be picking 12th.
Yeah. He won't be there.
Oh, he'll be there.
Hampton?
Yeah.
Crazy league. He is.
What do you mean crazy?
I'm gonna be in Gregor's ear just hyping him up so he takes him.
Gregor picks way too soon. He can't take him at that time.
Who's he taking?
I don't even know where Gregor would draft. I can't remember. It's the middle of the
He was
pack.
pretty close. He was
No,
didn't he finish like in the semifinals?
No. He would be probably drafting 7.
Oh, I'm gonna hype him up so much. So
really? That's fine with me. That means I get a better player.
You get Cam Scatabo.
No.
Sorry.
No. I'll be honest, like at 12, like I could keep at 12 Trey McBride.
That'd be tempting. You guys are PPR, right?
PPR.
Oh, I'd be, yeah.
It's tempting, but then no, I don't have a pick, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'd have the 13th pick overall.
Oh yeah, snake draft. Who could you keep there?
No one. Well, I wouldn't have
anyone.
anyone.
Keep McBride, you only get one
because I drafted McBride in round 2, so he would go to a first round.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I got Nico Collins in like 9, and I got Kyron Williams in like 13.
Yeah.
So I think you got to go.
Kyron Williams is intriguing next year
because
Corum was kind of getting carries
scary,
there. Yeah,
it's scary, but not sure what to think about that too. But he's got 1 year left for me. I just looking at all the teams and all the pigs that come to the trough late. All the pigs that come to the coaching trough late. Why are they the worst teams in the league? So you've got right now. So Joe Brady announced today in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy at the tail end of last week, Pittsburgh.
Yinzer.
Jesse Minter, your buddy, Baltimore. John Harbaugh, Giants. That's it. And the Giants had a tough year last year, but I mean, he's going to where he wants to go.
Nice pieces. Yeah. There's some reason for optimism.
You mentioned Scatabo.
The
Malik
defensive
Neighbors.
line.
Yes.
Yeah. Jackson Dart, you got your quarterback.
Yes. Kevin Stefanski, Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
They were this close to making the playoffs. The Dolphins, Jeff Hafley. They announced that quite quickly. Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
For the Titans. So the 3 pigs that are at the end of the trough, the Browns, the Cardinals, and the Raiders. Can't make a decision yet. All these guys that are, I don't know who the next 3 are going to be.
Yeah.
But you could probably say if you had offered someone the world here, maybe Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use him for an example. In Arizona, I don't know, Cleveland would have been a good fit.
Yeah.
But why you're waiting and you're waiting? To me, that's a concern. Now you know why because you can't make decisions if you're a crappy team.
I think one of those teams has their guy, but they can't hire him yet. I think Kubiak out of Seattle will be the head coach of the Raiders.
The Raiders
will have their franchise quarterback. They've got Genty. They got Bowers. They have $100 million cap space. I think that job might be enticing. Though you do get Herbert, Nix, and Mahomes in your division, which might be a little bit tougher. I think that's part of it. I don't know who else you might be looking at for those jobs when it comes to, who's out there. Like, is there a Patriots assistant you might want to talk to? I don't know. Maybe Vance Joseph for the Broncos. He just wrapped up. Maybe he might conduct some interviews. But, there's the other guy. Davis Webb for the Broncos OC. He's had quite the rise. He's only 31 years old. He was playing 4 years ago. So that, to me, is it. If it's got to be one of those most recent coaches that they have their eye on. But for the Arizona Cardinals, I haven't heard much about their interviews. And that's a tough spot. You got a huge question mark at quarterback with two of those three teams. I'm a big fan of Fernando Mendoza. I hate that I'm going to have to root against him because I think he's just such a likable guy, and I'm assuming he's going number one to Vegas. But the Browns have a Pro Bowl quarterback, so at least they have that going for them.
I thought it's great Mendoza. He's not going to the combine, right?
Really?
No.
Why?
You want to know why?
Is he doing a missionary trip?
No,
he's such a
going.
good guy.
He's got something to do. It could be an internship on Wall Street.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got nothing to prove.
I don't think so.
He's
But
a
I
football nerd.
love that because I've used this example many times. Like, say for the NHL draft, if you say you were a ball player and your team was playing in the Canadians or something, you didn't go to the draft or even a camp or something, an orientation camp.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going somewhere else. I'm pretty sure it's an internship. I might have the wrong terminology, but I'm pretty sure it's on Wall Street. And maybe I'm out to lunch. Maybe this is just fake news too.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking if I'm Vegas and you're set on him, he is QB1. He's the guy you want. All the things you want to see, like football nerd, has the size, can make the throws. Obviously, a gamer. We've seen him in the playoffs making some unbelievable plays. What do you need? What more do you need? Do you need to see him go out there and throw on some spandex and run around? No. Do you need to interview him? Well, you're going to interview him plenty of times. It doesn't have to be in Indianapolis. So to me, it wouldn't change anything. He's still going to be the number one overall pick. I hadn't heard this about him.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just a bunch of crap that came down or something. I don't know.
Either way, if he's just that smart of a guy that he can go to an internship on Wall Street, just hope he doesn't fall in love with that and fall out of love with football.
Nothing's coming up too. Maybe I'm out to lunch on this one.
It seems like one of those Facebook articles that might pop up.
Well, they're okay. I don't know how credible this is either. Is Fernando Mendoza skipping the scouting combine? A viral rumor for a finance internship is false. So there you go. It's all false.
Could you imagine? Like, I got this thing. It's kind of important. I got to skip out of my internship for 3 days. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, I mean, listen, if he wasn't going, I'd have no issue with it. But just go. He doesn't have to do drills, I don't think. Like,
I don't. Why would you?
Just go and be the first overall pick. No one doesn't matter what you do from here on out.
What's going on in our fantasy frenzy hockey draft? I think I'm just still 23, 24. Duke, are you still surging in this? Duke is falling.
I've fallen.
I'm falling bad. I've been hanging around 30th here for the last handful of days.
I jumped up to like 17, and then I think I fell down to 25th as of late. Randy's still leading the way. I think he's got this one. He's got a 17-point lead on Bad
How has he
Niv.
got all the no injuries, obviously.
No injuries. Nope. Even he had Hellebuck too, and he got through it. He's got Sorokin and Bobrovsky as well, but no, I've been falling. We've got Painter in third, and that kind of rounds out the thing. The thing with our leagues though, first gets all the money. Nobody else gets anything else. So it doesn't matter if you finish second or 25th like me. Duke is 30th.
I think I'm 22 or 3.
You are 23. Couple points up on me.
I mean, again, like, I don't know. Well, Demko's been out. Shesterkin's out. Cooley's coming back soon. I think he's starting to skate.
Hopefully.
You got him too, Cooley?
No,
I do.
I've got 3
Duke's
players
got
up.
him, yeah.
I thought Bouchard's 6-point night. I was like, not everyone has Bouchard. This should rocket me up. I think I fell.
Did you? And you got McDavid too?
Yeah.
So that's 11 right there. That means everyone's got
Because I think everyone, like most of the
That's
people
probably
took
why I
McDavid.
fell, because I don't have either of those guys.
Oh, do it really?
Yeah.
Neither
Did
of
you
them?
take McKinnon?
No, my
first
top player is
box?
Kucherov.
Oh, well,
My number
he's
one
great.
guy.
He's doing good.
Can you believe that Duke, with his over-under yesterday, was under at the Oilers-Ducks game
Really?
for beer?
Oh,
We had the
Yeah, I can get that.
No, we had it set at 2. I thought maybe 2.5. He had 1 beer. Josh goes and has 5.
Well, Josh is reckless.
I know.
You're seeing the age gap there. 31-year-old Duke versus 21-year-old Josh.
I just thought, how about the whole Sports 1440 team at the game?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You were there? None of us saw it.
Gregor and I sit together. Josh and Duke are there in the stands. Mac is watching it on Prime.
So was I, yeah.
Just like you.
It was great.
Yeah.
We had it surrounded.
Yeah. Did you, did you have problems with the feed?
No.
No?
Well, I had to watch on my phone for a while.
Oh, why is that?
Benny just gets too locked in on the TV. He's a Oilers junkie.
Yeah.
So I can't watch it in front of him. So I just put it on my phone to the side. Oh, okay. But was that a problem for people?
Some people
were having issues?
You know what? We brought it up in the morning, like right around 8:00, just because a couple texts came in. We had probably 40 texts in about 2 minutes.
Really?
About the feed, the announcers, what they liked, what they didn't like. For the most part, people don't like it.
Yeah.
But some people do as well.
Cool seeing Jason Smith get up there at the intermission with Pronger. Good memories there. I don't know. I don't love this whole streaming thing for sports. I'm old school, I suppose, where I just want it on cable, and
me too, man.
It's just no glitchy, nothing like that. Just give me the sports.
Yeah.
For everything else, hey, I'll stream, but sports, I want it old school.
What's coming up on the Gregor Show this afternoon, Conman?
So we won't have Dave McCarthy because he joined us yesterday. Dan Rosen from NHL.com will be by. We've got Cam Tate, of course, Struddy, Spec, DVD, trying to land someone to talk some NFL, and of course, 5 questions. TR, we're unsure about because I think he played in Vancouver last night, which the Shoresy cast. So I don't know if he's en route back to the island.
Has he been on since they played here?
No, he hasn't. Because it was Friday night.
It's Friday night, so it'd be interesting to see his take on things.
Yeah.
They had about 12,000 fans, and
I heard it was a really good
everyone
time.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think everyone liked it, and that's a tough swing for these guys too. I mean, they were in Calgary, and then here the night after, and then they go to Van, and
yeah, so 3 and 5.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Well, plus the amount of booze that those guys would be pounding in between games.
The travel,
travel, bus, hotels,
nice hotels. Looks like.
Wow, they don't. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, the tickets weren't cheap to this either. No, some of the tickets were like $300-400.
Really?
Yeah.
I was hoping TR would throw some tickets our way.
Well, that would have been nice. Yeah. And I think some of the Oiler guys had to buy even tickets if they needed more than their allotments.
Oh, okay. Like you're talking alumni.
Yeah, the alumni team that played. So,
yeah.
All right, Conman. Thanks, big guy, as always, for a Tuesday. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That's Connor Halley, Fantasy Frenzy, and the Jason Gregor Show coming up at 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, Mac the Intern, and we are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch as well.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Karius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
New year, new me, right? How about a resolution you'll actually enjoy? This January, resolve to get a better ride at Miss Q4. It's the New Year, New Ride event. Leave last year's vehicle in the rear view mirror and start 2026 in a brand new Ford. Get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%. Now that's a resolution you can stick to. Visit Nisku Ford today or browse our new inventory at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right. Welcome back to the big program, 1045 in Edmonton, home stretch of the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick, Mac the Intern here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Text 833-401-1440. Tyler texts in, says, KK, I was at the game last night with friends up in the theater suites. Chris Pronger is ripped. The guy looks like he could still play tomorrow night. Well, that's what happens when you're peddling whiskey, right? You know, but not leaving it behind, Duke, at certain places where you are promoting it.
Kevin, Prongs is selling whiskey. He's not giving away whiskey. That's how you can afford, all the best gym equipment and the memberships and the trainers or whatever to keep yourself looking in that peak physical condition.
Yeah, came in.
You don't get that by giving it away.
That was a year and some ago, correct?
Yeah,
came in the studio.
Yeah, I want to say like last January.
Yeah, brought in the whiskey and went actually over to K97 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did the same shtick and talked about it, and then had the bottle sitting on the table for Evans and Pete Panotsky, and he yanked that out of there as well. Just like he yanked that bottle of whiskey out in our old studios out front. It's pretty sad, dude.
Yeah, too bad. But then thankfully we've got our buddy Dark Cloud, the Ulsterman. He picks us up, looks after us.
Does he ever,
come St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day is coming up. He comes in to bring some beautiful Irish whiskey.
Oh,
those ones in the cans are great for the golf course.
Those are really good. The drams, dram in a can.
So you get, it's 4 ounces in there or 3?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I pour them all into one glass at a time. So,
like, come on now. Like, you just got to you can't have it sip and share. It's just like you pour it all for yourself in one glass.
Well, what I would do last year, I'm quite sure I took some to a Tropics game.
Yeah.
Our playoffs would have been wrapping up right around that time of the year. So I think I took some for final games, and we had a glass of whiskey after we lost out. Really quickly, Kev, actually, just on the topic.
Yeah.
The Tropics play in the CCRHL. It's one of the beer leagues here, and it's quite well run. I really admire the guys that do it. Right, they make the schedule, they figure it all out. We're in January. We're like 3/4 of the way through the schedule. They completely reshuffled all the divisions and stuff.
Yeah,
and I have absolutely no comprehension of why or the motivation or the reasoning or the necessity. But because we were having a really good year, but now we're in a new division and none of our previous record really counts. And so now we have to start all over. Like we were in second place. Now we might maybe have a bad stretch, and we're going to be getting a really tough first round matchup in the playoffs. What's that all about?
And when do playoffs start?
I can't remember. I think we got like 10 more games left, maybe. Maybe not even. That's probably too many now that I think about it.
Deanocracy texts in. That was a terrible mistake by Pronger. If you guys had tried some of that whiskey and said it was good, I would have bought it. But because he did that, I refuse to ever purchase that product. JR in Red Deer says, I heard that the Ducks radio stations got free whiskey from Pronger. You imagine that. Going to Anaheim, where he won the cup, Duke's Ducks gives those guys
great times.
Free whiskey, but not here in Edmonton.
Yeah, I bet our friends Kent French and Guy Hebert and John Ehlers and Brian Hayward, I bet they all got.
Yeah.
They probably all got whiskey.
Well, this is the last text I'll be reading from our friend Bob, who's been with us through thick and thin. I would thought he was anyway.
Oh, my, yeah.
I thought he was. Well, I guess he's with you.
He's
not
growing,
with
he's
me.
growing tired of you, Kev. He's out with, he's ready to throw you to the curb. Take you out with last night's trash bag.
Bob texts in and says, so, Kevin, when do you retire and let Duke take over? Just a thought. Kind of a new voice. Don't get me wrong. That's terrible.
That's too good.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Rockford says Ebenezer Pronger. You know, I'll tell you what, Lance. I get where you're coming from here. Lance is saying about Pronger calling himself an Oilers alumni and leaving here. Okay, first, I don't think he trashed the city, as you're referring to, Lance. This was very complicated here. But, you know, he left, and here's the other thing. He's trying to be more immersed into the Oilers alumni now than he was several years ago. So I give him credit on that sense, on that regard, because he's trying to be a part of it. And that necessarily wasn't the case years ago. Husk says, I met Chris and Sean, because Sean's the brother and the partner in this, at the liquor store in Sherwood Park. They signed my bottle. Very nice guys. Never signed the bottle in here, though, did he, Duke?
Well, yeah, signed it and then taking it out the door with him. Tee that up for the next guy.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
we got by just fine without Kev. We didn't struggle to find our next glass.
Because you know why? We had that, what was it, the black ice in the fridge?
Oh, yeah. I can't
it?
even remember who it was that brought us in. That was another loyal listener. I apologize for not remembering, but yeah, they brought us in a case of black ice to replace the absent whiskey that Pronger never dropped off.
That's 6.5%?
6.1, I think, maybe. Ooh. And the best part about that is I had a couple cans of it over the course of like the next 6 months. It sat in the fridge here at the studio. Most of it, 75% of it, got drank by Andrew Walker, who just popped by and have him enjoy himself a nice crisp black ice while watching the game here at the studio. Maybe I think it was before him and Donovan figured out the convenience of just going down and watching every game at first round. They would sit and watch here at the studio and just drink a beer. I think they got a little bit of a better setup now and better beer.
Jerry texts in, were the Critters originally CFCW? Well,
not originally, they are.
Still, and always will be. He said he was playing hockey yesterday. A guy on the other team had a Critters jersey on. Well, first of all, that could be like a collector's item, Duke.
Well, I know they auctioned a Critters jersey off in Smoky Lake, and they've done that in the past. I've seen it at a couple different games. Yeah. So they do give them out as like mementos and keepsakes. Like, you're right, that's a premium collector's item, especially if you get Sean K. Smith to sign it for you. Or maybe AJ Keller, all-time leading scorer, perhaps. The Critter himself could sign it. Paw print signature.
Don Johnson just emailed me, Duke, personally. I'm from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. I would disagree with you calling any NFL coach a pig at the trough. These are serious men with serious responsibilities, not hangers-on, like guys in the media who never actually played. That's me, Duke.
Right, that's you. And me. And
fans
all of us
who,
mostly.
like me, who literally throw shade without knowing. Serious men, Kevin. The analogy there, or the explanation, is the fact that the teams, I said, I didn't call the coaches. That's not what I said, Don. I said the teams, the three teams that are three of the worst teams in the league are the pigs at the trough because they're late to the game here. And Connor, great catch by him, saying Kubiak is going to be one of these guys because he's just not yet to be named a head coach because he's still got a job to do. Thanks for the email, Don. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Roshep T-Bird.
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne at 12 o'clock. It's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell, 2 till 6. Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show. We got Fox Sports all night long. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells with our co-host, David Schlemko, for Cougar, Pinked, and Collision. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas, premier Honda and Can-Am dealers. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for all the great texts. Thanks for all the emails. And thanks for the interaction. Really appreciate you being a part of the show. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7 bells. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Ten-game slate in the NHL tonight, including the Maple Leafs back at home hosting the Buffalo Sabres. The Golden Knights are in Montreal. Kings taking on the Red Wings. Jets in New Jersey against the Devils. Blackhawks taking on the Wild. Sharks up against the Canucks from Vancouver. And the nightcap game, Kraken hosting the Washington Capitals. Team Sweden announcing some injury replacement players for their upcoming Olympic roster in Italy. Marcus Johansson and Hampus Lindholm to join the team in place of Leo Carlsson and Jonas Brodin. From the NFL, a couple more coaching announcements to get to. Buffalo Bills promoting offensive coordinator Joe Brady to take over as head coach on a 5-year deal. And the Tennessee Titans hiring former Giants head coach Brian Daboll as their new OC, with the exception should he get hired as the head coach in Las Vegas. In the association, 7 games tonight. Washington taking on Portland. The Knicks host Sacramento at MSG. The Thunder at home against New Orleans. And the Clippers up against Utah in the evening's finale game. Scotty's Tournament Hearts continuing today. This morning's draw number 10 saw Alberta's Kayla Skrlik win over PEI 10-4. Newfoundland lost to New Brunswick 9-6. Nova Scotia double it up on Northern Ontario 8-4. And the other Alberta rink, Selena Sturmey, they beat Nunavut 10-2. Coming up here at 12 o'clock, the next draw. Caitlin Laws and Manitoba play in the Yukon. BC up against Ontario. Northwest Territories play Nova Scotia. And Saskatchewan goes up against Carrie Anderson and her Team Canada rank. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports